Hello, welcome to Chengdu, welcome to the Chengdu Auto Show. Today we are here to give you, as ever, our traditional full walkthrough of one of the largest auto shows in China during the year. It's nice and cool today, for once. It was pretty hot last year. Let me just show you though the scale of what we're going to show you today. This is the building that all these halls are in. We've got a full 12 halls to go through. So many different brands, I don't actually know exactly how many. I will do my usual counter of how many Chinese brands we go through in the top corner. I'm going to go and start at hall 14, it's a bit more interesting in there. Go to 16 and then head back around and try and end on a high at the other end, so you get a good bit of a bookend at the start and the finish. Now, if you don't want to go, if you don't want to stick with us through the whole video, if you'd rather jump just to the brands that you prefer to look at, I will put down in the description below all the hashtags and the timestamps for where those brands are present, so you can just dive through, find what you want and just go straight in that way. So yeah, as ever, it's going to be a full walkthrough, it's going to be a long video. Let's go. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. We are here in hall 14 to kick things off, and I've chosen hall 14 because we have a new launch here that is going to be relevant to European markets, and that is here at the Volvo stand. Now, if you haven't seen our video of this already, we were at the launch the other night, and this is going to be a big model, I would say, for Volvo. So big that they've literally made it the only car on their stand. So they've hidden the XC60, XC90, the X30, XC40. All those are not here. They're simply showing us the XC70. So let me give you a little bit of brief information about this. This is Volvo's first long electric range plug-in hybrid. What I mean by that is it's a bit like a plug-in hybrid, but it has extended range EV tendencies. So it's got an engine at the front, 1.5 litres, 3 electric motors. So it drives like an electric car, but has up to 260 kilometres of electric only range. Volvo is saying 200 plus because they're a bit more honest like that. But 260 kilometres of electric only range. It's, it was designed in Volvo's Chinese design center. So if you look at the interior here, let's take a quick look around here. Very Scandinavian design. This is a dark one, so I'm sorry about that. But we do get up here a large panoramic roof with an electronic sun blind. Now check this out. Let's just press that in there. That slides out, and in here we've got some cup holders. So you can simply just pull that back out the way again. So you've got a bit of space here for your bags and stuff. Drop your things underneath there. Get yourself a pair of twin USB-C sockets, lovely little crystal roller on the dashboard there. Single wireless charger, got a bit of fabric on the dashboard. This interior's got Nordico fabric and Napa leather, so I think the seats are Napa leather. As with on any Volvo, they've got base cushion extension, which we like, and this funny little square thing here to change your tilt angle and stuff like that, which is quite fun. Got ambient lighting in the doors here, 23 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. 15.6 inch screen in the center. A lot of people have been complaining on my video there's no physical buttons, but you can talk to the car and do almost anything. And we've got a 95 inch augmented reality head-up display as well. So this is probably not your typical Volvo. It's certainly not your typical XC70, which you might remember is the kind of the crossover estate car that they used to have. But nevertheless, it is a looker. Let me get around the back of one so I can show you how this looks. Got your usual sort of Thor's hammer tail lights on the back, and your Thor's hammer tail lamps, headlamps, daytime ring lamps on the front. So it's 443 kilowatts of power. That's just under 600 horsepower. 0 to 105.28 seconds. I'm trying to think of what else I can remember from this. It does have something called NPA, so Navigation Pilot Assist. Volvo will never call it self-driving. That's something they don't really believe in, at least not at the moment. But yeah, this is going to be a big one, and this is starting in China at 300,000 RMB, so about £30,000. And they did say that they intend to take it abroad. So if this kind of car is interesting to you, an all-wheel drive, nearly 600 horsepower, driven like an electric, but has the range of a petrol car SUV that's a bit bigger than an XC60 and smaller than a XC90, then this car might be the one for you. If you like Volvo and you trust their safety, which many people do, and they have a fantastic safety record, fantastic safety center, then the XC70 is a very interesting car. So that's Volvo. And you may have noticed I haven't put them down as a Chinese brand in the top corner because I don't believe they're a Chinese brand. Knowing them quite intimately, they are very much a Swedish brand with Chinese owners. So so it's not holding anything against them for that. So Mini are here at the show, another non-Chinese brand. Although these actually are made in China, funnily enough. They're made by Great Wall Motors, so which one's more Chinese? I don't know. Actually, Volvos are made in Chengdu, but the XC70 will be made in Taizhou, another city in China. So nothing really new from Mini that I can see. BMW though have gone pretty liberal with the paint. So they've got some very lurid colours. They've got an M3, they've got a bright yellow X1 over there, they've got a bright green XM over here, got a bright orange interior on this lovely M3. You know, I've never driven an M3. That's one thing I need to try and change. It's got real carbon fibre on the dashboard as well, which is lovely. But BMW sales, much like most of the German brands, are sliding in China. I think currently they're number one this year, ahead of Mercedes. They might have dropped behind them, I'm not sure. The BMW normally put BMW on the wheels. That looks a bit interesting. But yeah, their sales are generally sliding, which is funny because, I mean, BMW were one of the first brands to really get in with one of the first German brands to get in with electrification. I do like this one, even though it's kind of weird, but also very cool at the same time, the 2 Series. Again, more crazy paint. We've got the bright green over here. Got a purple M5. And we've got an iX1. These are kind of some videos circulating online of iX1s being stacked up in fields. Not stacked up, but not selling, basically, because they're not quite as good as the Chinese brands. Chinese brands don't want a little integrated screen like this. They want a big 15.4-inch screen and 25 speakers and heated, ventilated, massaging seats and AI that you can talk to that can control anything on the car. And as far as I'm aware, the big German brands are not really at that stage yet, perhaps with the exception of the Audi E5 Sportback, which was launched in Shanghai. Pre-sales have begun. We'll see that in a later stand in the show. But as you can see, yeah, just plenty of colour on the BMW stand, but not a massive amount of people. This isn't a public day. This is technically a media day, although I have seen children here. I mean, I don't know what kind of media they're running, but sometimes you get people in here that are not necessarily expected in here. So it does feel a bit quieter. Maybe the rain's kept a few people away. Well, let's have a check out with onvo. Here we go. Here's our first Chinese brand. That's the L60, which you probably know quite well. This is very much a Model Y rival. Let's see if we can get in here. Check out. Oh, there you go. Door pinged out there. Lovely interior on these. Big ass screen in the middle. Onvo were actually the first to go for this big screen in the Neo group. This one hasn't been a big seller for Neo, despite how lovely it is and well equipped. I'm not sure if this one comes with the fridge in the boot. It does. Look at that. They've got ice cream in the boot. This one you can literally get with a freezer / heater in the back. I might come back for one of those ice creams later on. But this is the big thing at onvo this year, and it's a car I haven't seen in person yet. So we'll check it out together. This is the onvo. Oh, I have seen it actually in Shanghai. This is the onvo L90, which is coming at a pretty ridiculous price point. If you rent the battery on this thing, this is a 6-seat 3-row SUV. I'll show you how luxurious it is inside in a minute. This starts at, I think, 179,000 RMB, 189,000 RMB, about 19,000 pounds for a car with about 500 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, 6 seats, what I believe is a 240-litre frunk. Amazingly, no one's inside it, so this is a great chance for us to get a look at it. It's done pretty well on pre-orders so far. You know, it's even got real wood on the dashboard, lovely ambient lighting, big head-up display, big central screen, lovely front padded seats. These are, of course, heated, ventilated and massaging. This is the first edition. Twin 50-watt ventilated wireless chargers. You've got massive 21-inch wheels, got huge speakers. I forget exactly how many there are. You can check that out on the article about this car on our website, insidechinaauto.com. It's got a screen in the back, a set of 2 seats here. You can get either a bench here or separate captain's seats as we've got at the moment. You get another screen down there. There's a fridge at the bottom as well, and there's rear seats there. Now this seat is clearly quite far back. Actually, this should be quite spacious in the rear. Let me climb in behind this seat here, because I just want to show you how much space there is. Let's move these teddies out of the way and take a quick look. Sorry, the camera's probably looking really weird at the minute. Let's do a quick spin around of the camera. There you go. that's our leg room. Can you see my legs there? Look at that, I've got even space for my knees. And this back row also, by the way, let's just spin the camera around again. This back row also comes with a reclining function, so you can move your backrest forwards and backwards. You get heated seats back here, you get a USB-C socket, and you get a cup holder with a little kind of a phone space as well. So really, even you get fancy kind of Dolby Atmos speakers in the back, 7.1.4 surround sound. I'll just unelegantly climb out. Sorry about that, buddy. And then behind your third row, you still get a whole bunch of space as well. Probably a little bit more space than you get on the lynkco 900, plus that vast tub under there as well. So it's no surprise, really. I think there's also a 12-volt socket over here. There you go. You get a full-on plug socket in the back of the car. And it's got, I think, single-chamber air suspension, so you can lower the suspension, adapt it to the circumstances. So you can see why that is proving to be pretty successful for onvo. And actually, they are... Oh, there's a good chance, if everyone goes for the onvo L90, they're probably not even going to buy the Neos. And that is the biggest problem, I would say, for Neo at the minute. The sub-brand is somehow the more attractive brand. Right. Let's check out Cadillac. I don't think there's not many people here, so that tells me there's not much going on at Cadillac. The XT5, I think, is the most recent updated model. They do have the Lyric V, and they've got the Vistique, which is, sorry, camera works a bit shoddy there, which is very large. Are they going to let us into the Vistique? The windows are totally blacked out, so I'm going to press the door handle. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to let us into the Vistique, but we can get into the Lyric over here, so we'll check that out. Now again, you see what's going on with the European and American brands, just this kind of curved screen, very slim, not something you can sit and enjoy and watch entertainment in. We've got some kind of chintzy, chromey stuff in the middle there, big deep pocket at the bottom, but just not quite adapting to the Chinese market yet. Some brands are, like Buick. We'll see one of their offerings later on. But yeah, Cadillac, I'm not entirely sure how their sales are doing at the minute, but I don't think they're really doing particularly well. This is the Escalade IQ, and I think we can get in this one. Look at the size of that. That is that is absolutely enormous. We can't get inside, but I can show you through the window. So this one gets a full curved display all across the dashboard there. Another screen down in the middle of the console there. Looks like we've got some real wood that's kind of got some glitter on it. An AKG sound system, pair of captain seats. You can just see my face here, sorry. Pair of captain seats in the back. But yeah, I don't think have I ever seen an Escalade in China? I don't think I have. We have also some of the ugly vans where they get a V-Class and just butcher it and turn it into something chintzy and horrible. Very old world. I mean, look at the colour of that orange interior over there. Very chintzy and old world, and not many people buy these anymore. There's some far superior MPVs coming out of China, which I'll show you today as we go around the show. But that's it for hole 14. Let's head to hole 15. Alrighty, let's cruise into hole 15 and check out a few more Chinese brands in here than in the last hole. And we'll start on the right with Liauto, because they've got their new 3-row SUV, which you'll see, that's the Mega MPV, the bullet train one. This is the SUV, which looks very similar, actually. Let's see if we can dive in the back. Is anyone sat in this back seat? No, that's good. So you can see we've got things like sun blinds built into the doors. Liauto's traditional, lovely, simple design language. Large screen in the back, I'd say that's probably a 17.3-inch screen. We get some kind of controls, HVAC controls down there, plus a fridge. Lovely sort of, I think you can do zero gravity with these seats. They've certainly got a leg rest on the one on that side, so maybe that one's zero gravity. You do get a third row, but currently that's folded down in here. That's your dashboard, typical Liauto dashboard with the two large, I think the 15.6-inch screens over there. Some lovely ambient lighting as usual, and of course your steering wheel with a little screen on top as well, and a head-up display and a digital rear-view mirror as well, because it's quite a long car. And it's an interesting looking one. Let me see if I can get you a better angle of this. That's kind of the front end of it. Let's cruise around there, show you the front of that. It is very cool, I have to say. It's supposed to be very aerodynamic and very sleek and better on energy efficiency. But currently, Li Auto, who've been kind of the darling of the Chinese car industry for a long time. Let's just check out that third row there, by the way, quickly. So quite a good amount of room in the back of this and a decent amount of space as well. Do we get a deep boot like in the Onvo? No, just a little shallow pocket. Feels like some wasted space there. It's not quite as long as the Onvo, by the way, but it's not far off. This is the Mega. I'll come back on to talking about Li Auto in a second. This is the Mega, as you can see. It's basically kind of the same ingredients packaged in a different way. And on the home version of this, you can spin those two second row seats around and face backwards. But yeah, see the back end looks a lot like a bullet train. And then that's kind of the SUV, the new electric stuff on this side. These are fully electric, by the way, the i8 and the Mega. The i6 is coming, that's a smaller version, will be full electric. Now, Li Auto built their name on extended range EVs, ones that look almost exactly the same. So that's an L8, this is an L9, that's an L6, and that's an L7, and they all look almost identical. Now, they're not doing super well at the moment. They were on a stratospheric rise, everybody buying extended range SUVs. You'll find them in every city in China, even the small ones. But other brands have started to kind of catch up and do similar stuff now, like the Aito brand, for example. lynkco's 900, you've got the Onvo coming in at a very affordable price, and the new Neo ES8 also at an affordable price. Their kind of core area is being attacked viciously by all the other brands, and that's causing their sales to slow down. They're actually down this year on last year, and in a market that's still growing, that's not a place that you want to be. So they need to kind of generate some excitement. I think they have got quite a few new orders on the i8, but maybe not quite as many as the Onvo L90 had. Now here we're with the, I think this is the FAW Audi stand. I forget which one of these ones. I can't see the sign at the minute. So Audis are made by two different companies in China. You've got FAW and SAIC. FAW, First Automotive Works, literally the first car brand in China, the first Chinese car brand. The others are SAIC, the same company behind MG. If you didn't know that, that's the collaboration that they're doing the E5 with. Although I think they might also be making the E5 with FAW. Now, again, you can see not a great amount of interest on the Audi stand. That RS6 Avant GT, by the way, very cool. You know, I'll give you a little bit of car porn. I'll just show you that, because that is very sexy. I'm not sure anybody does a wagon or an estate quite like Audi do. I mean, to be fair, Volvo have got some lovely estates too, but if you want a sporty one, look at that. It is nice. It's very nice and very cool. But yeah, almost no interest in it, which is quite surprising. This is a very quiet haul, actually. I feel like you can hear me far easier than you can at most media days. But as you can see, not a lot of interest in the Audi brand cars. These are all the petrol ones over here. We're getting to the electric stuff on this side. You've got things like the Q6L Sportback. That's a bit longer than your standard Q6. And it's a bit sportier with the coupe rear. Q6L e-tron, again, that's a little bit longer than your standard Q6. I actually had the chance to drive an Q6 e-tron in New Zealand. And lovely car to drive, but I can see why the Chinese are not buying it, because it doesn't have all the kind of features that they would want. And yeah, I mean, when have you seen an Audi stand at a motor show that looks like that? It's unusual. This is quite cool, actually. Sorry, I'm busy. Sorry. So yeah, check out this stand over here. Some guy wanted to interview me then. This is a one-take video, apart from the stops between stands. This is called Topfire, and they do I think this is a brand new, if I recall, this is a brand new version of an old-looking Land Cruiser. I think you do get these in international markets, and they look quite funky. They're kind of old-school brown and tint paintwork on it. Now let's check out JAC, obviously a Chinese brand, this one. They've got an MPV. This guy's having a video of closing doors. Let's see what they've got in this refined plug-in hybrid MPV. That's quite a funky looking rear end on there. These seats are very interesting, check those out. Physical switches on this side for moving all this stuff around, and then a screen in the armrest for controlling other stuff. You've got kind of a starlight pattern in the roof there. This feels like a kind of a custom version. Oh, and a big screen, look at that. Big screen for the back with entertainment on it, and a reasonably large screen in the middle with kind of snake skin on the dashboard. Can you see that snake skin? Let me just jump in here. Check out that snake skin. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that in a car before. They do pickup trucks. This is another one that I drove in New Zealand actually earlier this year. Having driven this alongside the Shark, the BYD Shark, I can honestly say that the Shark pretty much takes it by probably a country mile, if I'm being honest. But there is a market for the Jack. It's basic, it's affordable, it's diesel, so it'll do really long range and not have to worry about it too much. They do have two concept cars they've been showing for a while. This is the Refine, I think, and this is the Define. Not sure if they're ever going to build this. It looks quite cool. I like the vertical headlamps on that. Potentially a hint for a maextro SUV. That's probably never going to get built, but looks quite cool all the same. Now, the reason I say that one might be a hint for a maextro SUV, well, maextro is this brand over here. Now, only the fanciest of people can get into the maextro brand, it would appear. Let's see if anyone will let us in. So this is basically China's Rolls-Royce, and there's all kinds of cool features on the maextro S800, not to mention these kind of shiny discs. Of course, this is a collaboration between JAC and Huawei. This was the fourth, I believe, of the Huawei or the Harmony Intelligent Mobility Alliance brands. And this one, you can basically do this with your hand, pull it, and the door will open just from your gesture. And inside, the rear windows have like an electrochromatic dark tint in them. So you can just do this with your hand, don't even touch the window, just swipe across in the air, and it will tint and go dark and give you the privacy in the back of the car. It's available as a full electric car or as an extended range EV. As you can see, lovely sort of purple interior there. Electronic doors, you've got LiDAR units, you've got one on the top there. I think you might have others, I'm not sure. I think there are two on the side. No, they're not LiDAR units. It does come, of course, with Huawei's autonomous driving system. Currently the best one in China, I would say. I'd love to get you close to that, but I'm not sure we can get in. Maybe we'll try and get you some B-roll of that later on and stick it over the top of this. But that's maextro. That's currently, I think, the second most expensive car available in China. And this is a trend, actually, I want to point out. The turquoise lights you'll see on the back there, and the ones you can see on the front over there. And actually, another trend, these kind of scroll light. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Those kind of starry lights in the back there. This is a trend you'll see on a lot of cars at the auto show today. So the turquoise lights are autonomous driving lights. When the car's in autonomous driving mode, those will come on to tell the drivers the car is under the operation of a robot rather than an algorithm or a software program rather than a human. And the starry lights are just a trend, a design trend to have kind of sparkly lights. This is Volkswagen's import stand. So Volkswagen have 3 different companies making them in China. One is FAW, one is SAIC, and one is a self-owned company in Anhui province, Volkswagen Anhui, and they do the Volkswagen ID Unix, which we'll get onto later in the show. More of these sort of fancy vans. Let me know if you want me to show you more of these fancy vans in future. I don't think you probably do, but we shall see. Now, one more Chinese brand before we leave Hall 15 is Hyptec. So Hyptec is part of AIon, which is part of GAC, Guangzhou Automotive. This is the SSR. Is it SSR? Yes, it is. The Hyper SSR supercar. This is well in excess of 1,000 horsepower. Might even be fairly close to 2,000, something like that. As you can see, pretty cool interior. I don't think I've ever seen one of these on the road, to be honest. Got full carbon fibre body. You can see the whole thing down here. All that's carbon fibre. Even the doors are carbon fibre. I think it's at least, it might be 3 or 4 motors. Again, I forget. It's been out for a while, this, but not doing massively on the sales. It'll do 0 to 100 in 1.9 seconds. Uber cool car. Now, Hyptec recently launched the HL, which is this one. This is a 3-row SUV. And this lady's having a closer look at it, so I'm going to go in the front instead because she's doing a sales pitch there. So let's check out the HL interior. In here we've got some real wood on the dashboard, twin 50-watt wireless chargers, big screen, big speaker at the back of the dashboard, big head-up display and a smaller screen there. What I like about Hyptec, used to be called Hyper, is that they put this kind of small screen further back so the cabin feels really stretched and your eye line doesn't have to change quite so much to check your screen in front of you. They are quite nice actually. It smells quite luxurious and leathery in here. We even get microfiber roof lining, if I can show you that as well. Got a whole bunch of nice speakers, some nice ambient lighting in the dashboard, and a ton of space down there under the dashboard. And if I turn the camera backwards, so we've got a 5-seat version here. I think there might be 2 seats behind these. So I think you can get it in 6 or 7-seat options. And I believe it's an extended range hybrid. I don't think they do an electric version of this one. This is quite cool, these metal grates on the speakers. Feels quite luxurious, but Hyptec are a brand that you do not see many of outside of Guangzhou, which is a real shame. But they've got another new car, which is this one, the A800, which this guy's just decided to clamp himself right in front of the shot. As you can see, this one looks like the first one that's going to get the autonomous blue lights, and that's because this is the first GAC to get Huawei's ADS system, and loads of brands are starting to get Huawei's system now. So if you look over there, you'll see a bunch of cameras on the side, 2 or 3 on the side. You've got 2 under the mirror as well. They're not showing us the interior of this car. 20-inch alloys. This back end here looks very sort of Audi A8, doesn't it? The way it slopes down, it's not quite as Teutonic or rigid. But you got, again, the turquoise lights in the back and this kind of lovely belt of twisty lights along there. That's the sign that we're looking for, ADS. So Huawei's ADS system really getting into lots of brands now. I'll show you more of those as we get through the day. But this is like a large, fully electric saloon. It's not on sale yet. Sorry, I think it's fully electric. I think this might be electric and extended range. I'm not sure. But this one does come with the LiDAR at the top. And this is going to compete with something like, hard to say really. I think it's more expensive. It's going to be more expensive than a Geely Galaxy E8 or the plug-in hybrid version, just the 8. So I'm not entirely sure who it's going to compete against. Maybe the Han L, BYD Han L. Actually looks fairly similar with that sort of streak along the side there. The Han L, the one with the megawatt charging. So yeah, that's the A800L, and that's hall 15. Let's take you on to hall 16. Before we get into hall 16, just want to show you these very freaky looking robots. Not entirely sure what this is promoting, but yeah, that's the future we're looking at when you go to shopping malls and things. Let's check out hall 16. We've got some big brand names in here that you will have heard of. Aushun over there is another one of those modified van companies, and Vulcanus as well, so I'm not going to bother checking those out. We will have a quick look around the Hongqi brand. They've got this HS7 plug-in hybrid there. Let's see what a Hongqi looks like inside, because we haven't had one of these on the channel before, and they're not easy to get. This one's got kind of almost a fake, is it real metal? It looks like metal, but it's not. Real leather on there, well, probably not real leather either, to be honest. Vertical screen, that's not really what you'd expect in modern Chinese cars, but the back end looks fairly luxurious with some captain's seats in there and a little screen down at the bottom, some kind of sounds going on. They do have some electric cars, and obviously I'm not going to focus exclusively on electric cars. Some channels are really focused more on electric. I want to show you everything. They have brought a new car out, I'm pretty sure. I saw one recently. Got a few plug-in hybrids now, so they're kind of getting there on that side of things. But the electric cars are over on this side. I feel like there should be something here, but their press release might be in the afternoon, so if they're going to release something, we might catch it later. But this is the Tiangong 05. I have sat in one of these and driven it for somebody else's video. I'll just show you through the window because someone's doing a video here, so I don't want to affect their audio. But you see kind of a lovely sloping dashboard, sweeping dashboard, stick-up screen in the middle. Fairly basic, but quite nicely sculpted. Interesting lights on the back there. They're quite cool. And then we've got the 06, Tiangong 06. This is the SUV version. So basically, just kind of a more upright version of the same car. So single wireless charger. You've got a bit of space under the dashboard there. It doesn't connect to the top, like on a lot of cars. You've got kind of the Hongqi New Energy logo. That's this logo here on the steering wheel. We do get microfiber on the roof lining though. So lovely soft touch materials all over. Little hook down there. And a big head-up display as well on the 06. And you do get metal grates on your speakers, which are DIN Audio, the Danish sound system. So it's not totally bereft of equipment. But yeah, Hongqi have been pretty relaxed about getting into the electric car scene. That's the 06. This is the 08. So this is a larger version of the 06. This one, let's have a look inside. Does it look a bit different? It does. So this one's got a cool, look at this on the dashboard here, look at that. That's quite funky. Sort of weird dial here with lights on it. We've got a joined up closed center console there. More of a kind of a sculpted screen, so rather than the square one. Again, that kind of, it does feel like real metal actually. This is real metal, I think, on the dashboard. Very kind of, much more sculpted looking interior. Quite nice front seats with a kind of a cross pattern on them. I think this is quite a spacious car. Let's check out the back seats. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Loads of legroom in the back. I don't think I've actually seen, to be honest, any of the Tiangong cars on the road though, which is unusual. You see a lot of the EQM5s, which are the taxis. Now this is actually an FAW, so Hongqi are made by FAW, same company I mentioned earlier. That is a pretty rugged looking military vehicle. If a bomb was going off, I wouldn't mind being inside that. And then they've got this one, which is a concept still at the moment. They showed this in Shanghai earlier this year, a sort of chunky off-road thing. The market for chunky off-roaders, real off-roaders, growing quite rapidly in China, up 30% this year. Now Hongqi make their standard cars, the ones we saw over there, the new energy ones that we saw here, and they have the Sunflower brand, which is their super luxurious stuff. So this one is called the, this isn't the Guoya, this has got a different name, Jin something Hua. So that's a very luxurious looking car. I'm not sure if they're going to let us on the stand. Can we get on the stand? Can we go? No, this one, okay. Let's go and get you a closer look at a Hongqi. They'll let us in. So here you go. I think this might be the Guoya. Certainly, I've actually seen one of these on the road. More than I've seen of the other electric cars. Can we open the door? We can. Very nice. Okay. So this is the inside of a luxurious Hongqi Sunflower. So the Sunflower brand, as I mentioned, it actually started from Chairman Mao's Hongqi. And I'm not sure what this is. Is that for putting your cigarettes out on? Maybe? That's an interesting little thing there. Just above the wireless charger. I mean, a cigarette holder is the kind of thing you might expect. It's something like this. You got your metal buttons across there. Is that screen? It's not turned on. Okay, but we've got real wood on the dashboard, bit of ambient lighting at the top and bottom. Some more sort of details in there as well. Lovely two-tone cream and purple interior. The rear seats have got tablets on the back of the front seats there. Twin panoramic windows up there as well. And you can see it's a four-seater. I'll just show this gentleman sat in his very comfy seat. I guess he can lie both of those two seats down. He's got leg rests in there as well. So yeah, that's the Sunflower. This is their big-ass SUV. That's not an official name for it. But you see this one's a little bit more of the traditional luxury. Lots of wood on this one. Believe it or not, Hongqi's designer actually used to work for Rolls-Royce. I think it's a British guy. Got kind of metal grab handles on there, lovely bits of chrome, a real clock in the middle there. I can't see the brand name, but the company's from 1958, which is almost the same age as FAW, the company. But you can see again, got sort of quilted leather in the doors here, that sort of Chinese pattern on there. So this is really, that's lovely, lovely shiny metal, shiny wood with the kind of Hongqi name, that's Hongqi in Chinese, engraved on there. So not often we get a good chance to really look at these fancy Hongqis, so I'm feeling quite privileged today. So I will give you a good look at these. As you can see, there's a lot more physical switch gear, a lot more physical buttons, smaller tablets, the software not quite as fancy as it might be on some of the other cars, but this is a full 4-seater, so that's kind of your section there. I think you might get a, no, there's no button there. I thought you might get a fridge for some champagne or something. There probably is somewhere. And then you've got plenty of, can we get into the boot? This will be a surprise if we can. Oh, we can, there we go. So let's see how big the boot is in one of these. Yeah, I mean, that's enormous, isn't it? Look at that. You could probably get about 8 massive suitcases in there. Weirdly, it actually slopes upwards towards the back. Very unusual. Well, there you go. So that's your hongqi luxury ones. Now, this is the one that we can't see. This is basically the same car, I think, that the president drives around in. Much more retro styled, 2-tone color scheme on it. It's got a 4-litre V8, I think. And I think there's also a V6 option you can get with a smaller engine. So some proper big meaty engines, as you might expect from the leader of a country's car. That's another of the SUVs, but a 2-tone one. And this is kind of a different color interior to the one we saw earlier. It's kind of minty green with white. So I think you can basically get the interiors kitted out almost exactly as you want them. If you're paying this kind of money for these cars, you can basically get what you want on them. But they're very cool, very classical design on the hongqi sunflower stuff. Now let's dive down to CATL. And we'll come back down the right-hand side in a moment. CATL, they don't have as big a stand here as they had in Shanghai. In Shanghai, they showed off a few things, such as the Freevoy battery. I'm not sure if this one is that. This one's the sodium battery. So has basically similar to salt in there. You can also get this one. This is for truck drivers, for heavy-duty trucks, 24 volt, which works in really cold temperatures. So great bit of chemistry for that. They've also got, where is the modular battery? Can't see that. They have a battery that they're going to be making that's going to have a mix of chemistries in. So for example, you could have a section like this that would be LFP and then some NMC in there. So you can get the mix that you want to work out on different things. Actually, it shows you here, look on the screen. Different cars. These are all the different cars that are using CATL's batteries. Zeekrs. Got all the Zeekrs on there. Liauto, LEVC, Avatr, Xiaomi, maextro, hongqi, Lotus. So a whole bunch of different cars, and it tells you all the different details about them. Because the battery actually is quite key, not only to giving you great range, but also delivering a certain amount of power. So really powerful cars need to be able to extract that power from the battery as well, which most people don't really think about. So you need batteries that can give you extensive power. They do have a battery that will charge 10 to 80%. What was it, in 5 minutes? So they can add 520 kilometers in 5 minutes. That's their new battery that'll be coming out fairly soon, I would say. And they're also trying to work on things like this, like automatic drone flying planes and stuff. And this is the dual power battery. So you can see, you can put in, let's put that green one in there, put the LFP in here. So that shows you we've now got sodium on the left side. That's the one I took from here. And this green one, that's an LFP, self-forming anode. So you've got all these different chemistries, and you can now get a battery, or you soon will be able to get a battery that can mix and match them. You can have even up to 3 different chemistries in your battery, which is quite cool. Now, Xiaomi, everybody will have heard about this. Our videos are about 500,000 views for this car. Let's see if we can get onto the stand. There's usually a queue. Can we get in here? No, that's an exit sign. I'll show you some of the colours. We didn't get to see all the colours on our video. So that's kind of the Dawn Purple, I think it's called, or Dawn Pink. This is a lovely sort of light blue. I considered this one for the one that I've got an order on, but I, in the end, went for the green. Got silver here. For anybody who's interested, mine is 39 weeks away from delivery, 39 to 42 weeks. So yeah, that's the waiting list you've got to get yourself a Xiaomi U7. We can get in. We'll go around this way. I want to try and point the camera at something attractive, but I haven't got anything to show you until we get in. So I want to give you a quick look around the U7. And here's, there's Zeekr's head designer here, Stefan Zielaf. He's come to check out the Xiaomi, I think. He's just launched a very cool car, which I will show you shortly. They're giving out water, but I don't need water. I just want to check out the cars. All right, how do we show you this, the U7? So this is the colour I've gone for mine. And you can talk to the car and it will pop open the front for you. 140 litres, I think it is, from memory. You've got your 20-inch alloys, Brembo brakes in there. Check out the dashboard. You've got the hyper screen all across the back there, hypervision screen, which is like 3 head-up displays. You've got real carbon fibre in here, Napa leather. You've got your screen with your detachable buttons at the bottom. You've got kind of extra detail you can stick on there, like these lights and the tacos on top. Twin wireless chargers. You've got a zero gravity front seat, I believe. You've got tablets you can put onto the back of the front seats. And I think there's a fridge down at the bottom as well. So all kinds of cool stuff going on with the U7. I can't see the alloys that I chose on mine, so I can't show you those. But yeah, I'm looking forward to mine arriving next year because it's very fast and very cool. And of course, there's also the SU7, of course, but I think most people have probably seen that by now. This is the Ultra. Now, I have driven the Ultra, and I want to tell you why I haven't shown you the video of it yet. It was with Xiaomi people with me in the car. I didn't get to drive it as much as I would want to. This is the Nürburgring edition. So this one's got the rear seats stripped out and the roll cage put in, the crazy aero, you get your carbon fibre spoiler, carbon fibre details around the car, proper bucket seats with the Nürburgring logo, I think, somewhere on the seat there. And just mainly the usual interior, but a lot of bits stripped out to make it faster. Obviously, this is the prototype one, is the 3rd fastest car ever around the Nürburgring. This one is, I think, the fastest electric car around the Nürburgring, the fastest production electric car from memory, even beating the Rimac Nevera. And of course, because it's the Ultra, you get 3-carat gold on your little logo on there as well. Now, yeah, I wanted to say the reason I haven't put that video out is because there were Xiaomi people in the car with me most of the day, or all of the day. I didn't get to drive it as much as I would want to. I didn't get to try it out in all the ways I'd like to. And I want to be honest with you, when I do a review, I want to do it more kind of genuinely, let's say. This is that front, by the way. So you can talk to this. I'm not sure if it's listening today. I forgot, what's the prompt word again? This was on my video. I forget. Okay, I'm not going to show you, but yeah. So you can 140 litre front, big front on that, loads of space. But yeah, I am going to get another SU7 Ultra later this year, and I will tell you all about it when I do. We might get to take it on a track. So that is worth looking out for, because I'm looking forward to driving that car properly. The acceleration, by the way, on the Ultra is just, it's mind-bending, absolutely mind-bending. They had a special driver for us, and he drove us. He did the maximum acceleration. I literally felt dizzy afterwards. It was crazy. Anyway, we're done with Xiaomi. Let's start talking about GAC. They've got a whole bunch of MPVs. Got the M8, another M8, and they've got cameramen here, so I'll avoid going around there. I don't think they've done their presentation yet for the day, because the cars that they're going to show off are supposed to be here in the middle of the stand. So they're big new cars recently at GAC. M8, we've got S9 and S7. So this is the S9. I did give you a brief look around this at the Shanghai Auto Show. Again, got autonomous driving program on this with a LiDAR unit. I think it might be, again, the Huawei system. It's got the Harmony OS operating system. I can see that inside. Twin wireless chargers. Again, lots of luxury materials. I think that's real wood on the dashboard as well. Kind of a soft foam up there. Got a tray table for the back seats. Plenty of room in there. Is it a 6 or 7 seater? I think it is. This seems to be quite indicative that this one's got the Huawei system, but it doesn't come with the ADS badging on the back. I should point out that ADS, yeah, this is a 5-seat version. I think you can get a 7-seat version. That's got quite a lot of space under there, and a little bit of space under this one as well. Not sure if we'll ever get to drive this. We did get to drive the GS8 a few years ago, but we got lucky with that. So we'll see if we ever get to drive the S9 or the S7, which has got a lot of Range Rover style cues, but actually Volvo EX90 in the back of that as well. Let's see if we can look at the interior on this one. This one doesn't come with the Huawei system. You get square cup holders, single 50-watt wireless charger, pop-up speaker on the dashboard, that's quite cool, head-up display, plenty of space, and then the back, let me show you the back, we do also get a fold-down screen for the rear seat passengers. So It does look quite good. Looks quite meaty. I do like the this S7. I think I've only seen one on the road so far. So that's GAC. Then we've got Honda. Honda have two joint ventures in China. One with Dongfeng, I think it is. One with GAC. That's why they're in this hall. Now they haven't brought the GTs here that they had in Guangzhou. They only brought, sorry, in Shanghai. They've only brought the P7, which is, oh, it's kind of cool. It does come with camera mirrors on the side. Everyone thinks that Honda's not really doing EVs. Well, they are. And here you go, this is the interior. So you can see the interior, not really Chinese standard. That is like one big screen in the middle, but it is kind of strange. You've got your door mirrors in the doors there. Got a bit of cool ambient lighting through there. But I always find Japanese cars have really complicated interiors. You get Bose sound system though. That's quite nice. That might be worth buying it just for that purpose. But this is one that I don't think you're ever going to get in Europe. Not sure if you're ever going to get the P7 in Europe. They do have another version of P7 made by their other partnership, which might be, yeah, Dongfeng, right? So I'm not sure if I've seen that one at the show today. But that's Honda. Nissan, obviously in all kinds of financial difficulties on the face of things, do seem to be making a bit of a comeback in China. This is their new N6. So no, this is the N7. Have they got the N6 here? No, they haven't brought the N6. That's weird. So this is the N7. This is their fully electric car. So they do have the Aria in China, but no one really buys that. This is more of a, this is a car that would suit ride hailing really well. In some markets, I've already seen these, as some cities, already seen it as taxis. So it's quite cool. It's, oh, this stand is very pink today. I think they're clearly advertising this car to ladies. They've got flowers everywhere, like the Polestar stand. So it's kind of a long saloon. As I said, it is fully electric. I was expecting the N6, which is a hybrid car, which is a bit smaller than the N7. Is it that one over there? They're really similar, but I don't think they've brought the N6. No, they haven't. Okay, so I can't show you the N6. I'll give you a quick, well, I'll try and get you a quick look at the interior. I've got to try and get around the flowers first. Let's just dive in there. That's your interior. So you've got a big screen in the middle, just very standard Chinese fare really. Lots of big screen and not much else. But yeah, that's probably one you're not going to see in the rest of the world, I'm afraid. So that is hall 16 with 3 halls down, 9 halls to go. Let's go to hall 12 or 11, I think it is. Alrighty, into hall 11, and we've got a lot more action going on in here compared to the other ones. One of the main reasons is on the Zeekr stand, which I'll show you soon. So I'll start by going through the IM stand. IM, otherwise known as IM powered by MG Motors in international markets, or some international markets. They sell this lovely furry pink car. You can't buy it in the pink furry exterior, but they sell the L6, which I think you got as the L5 in international markets. This is quite a powerful 800 volt car. There's somebody inside, so I won't show you the interior. And then they also have now brought out the LS6. Now you're going to get, I believe, the old LS6, which is fully electric. This is the new LS6. I'm going to show you the front of it. You let me know in the comments below what you think of the styling of this. It's yeah, it's interesting, I think. Now this is available as an extended range electric vehicle and a full electric one. Just, I mean, look at that. Look at the overhang and look at the height of it. I don't know. It's kind of astounding to me that that could ever be put into production. I just find that very curious. I'm going to dive into the back here because we've got a new interior on this. So you see we've got some lovely wood in the doors. We've got metal grates on our speakers. We get rear backrest angle adjustment and heating in there. We get a fridge and a heater down at the bottom. We get a large panoramic sunroof with an electronic sun blind, which curiously goes front to back rather than back to front. Got sort of lovely sort of quilted rear seats here, and then the dashboard has changed completely. So we've now got this kind of long screen in front of the driver and the center console, and a larger screen over there ahead of the front passenger. So they get a proper like entertainment screen, quite similar to that on the Hi-Fi X that they used to have. You got a 50-watt wireless charger down there, only one. A few physical switches, and you can get the yoke steering wheel if you want it. We also get the magnet connection on the back here, so you can magnetize tablets and stuff or phones onto the back of the front seats. But yeah, so this is quite a technically adept car. It comes with the, what do they call it, lizard chassis, snake lizard chassis or something like that. So it's got rear wheel steering. It can do the pivot turns where it will lock the front wheel and spin around. So it's got, it'll do 800 volt, 5-minute fast charging in there. It doesn't say exactly how much fast charging you'll do. And it's got an autonomous driving system as well. But I just think it looks hideous. They've somehow made the LS6 look worse, which is shocking. Now, again, there's no car on here. That might be because their presentation is this afternoon. Well, they might show the LS9. If they do, I will come back and cover the LS9 later on in the video, or paste it in here. So I'll just do a nice pause there where I can drop it in. If that has gone in, we'll now return to the L6, which actually looks pretty cool and meaty when it's like this. Again, this is the one that you're going to get as the L5 in Europe and other places. Nice LED lights on the back. They are not showing, though, the L7 or the LS7 here. So it's just LS6 and L6. So I'm not sure why they've decided to opt against that. But here's a better look at that interior from the angle there, so you can now see what it looks like with the screen here ahead of the passenger. The other cool thing about these is you can fold this front seat down, slide it underneath the dashboard there, and give this back seat loads of leg room. But yeah, that's the LS6 and the IM stand. Now, XPeng have been very busy the last 11 months. I think they've got 10 consecutive months of 30,000 plus sales. This month probably will be 40,000. We'll find out in a few days' time. This is the G7. We've got our review of this coming out pretty soon. That's kind of like the SUV version of the P7 Plus. And this is a cool car. It's got a rear-driven motor. I think a choice of just one, yeah, from memory. 200 and something kilowatts of power, I think. Loads of space. I think they said 800 litres of space in the boot. So plenty of space in there. That's your dashboard with the usual kind of, you know, bit of real wood in there, twin wireless chargers, ambient lighting, head-up display, 15.6-inch screen. There's a guy wearing a panda hat in the back of the car. I'll just dive into the back seat here. So a little screen down the back there as well, and a tray table, and a wireless charger there in the center armrest. Plus, again, a really large sunroof, or panoramic roof, but with no sunblind on it. Now, the most exciting car is this one, the XPeng P7. So the P7 was the first Chinese new energy car to hit 100,000 sales from these new startup brands. They've replaced it with this very cool, futuristic, what would you call it, retro-futuristic maybe? Because it does look kind of retro. It looks a bit like a Ferrari 348, someone said the other day, with the nose on it. I think it is 348. We drove this on track. We've got a video of that. I'll put a link in the top corner. This was a very competent sports car, I would say. Apparently it's got a very similar lap time around that track to the Xiaomi SU7, which of course is China's sportiest car at the moment, apart from the SSC. Comes with twin motors, 400 and something kilowatts of power. I've forgotten what it was. A very cool looking rear end on it with an active spoiler. Got very cool lights around there. Let's try and show you that. Of course it comes with XNGP. This is an active spoiler. It says Aero Performance under there. And yeah, I found it to be really good on track, to be honest. I mean, for an electric car, let's be honest, it's not a true sports car. It's a sporty family saloon that's actually a hatchback. But it's very nice inside, and it handles, it's very dependable. So a few of the comments that I might not have made during that video is that it's got a very broad operating window. So it's easy for people who are not used to driving fast to get used to. Whereas some cars that are very sporty will chew you up and spit you out if you just kind of make a small mistake. This one's quite forgiving. It's quite a balanced, neutral setup, so you can handle a bit of understeer, get a bit of oversteer if you floor it during the corner. It does come with a 53-litre frunk, I think it is, or 54-litre frunk. Oh, which someone's going to show us. There you go, that's cool. Let's quickly do that. It just popped up, so I'm going to dive in there and and show you that. You can talk to the car, by the way, from all the way around the outside. Open the windows, open the boot, open the front, and so on, just by talking to the car. And yeah, really good. Hopefully we'll get to do a road test drive of that at some point and show what it's like on the road. Apologies for the sniffing. I've got a slightly blocked nose today. Let me give you a quick look at that dashboard, by the way. The screen is on like 3 arms, so the screen moves. And you've got this cool slim screen down here as well, plus these kind of boost modes on the steering wheel. So it can do 0 to 100 in 3-point-something seconds. They've also got a scissor door version too, which we haven't seen before. They didn't have that one at the track. I like this matte silver paint colour. But yeah, scissor door version, like the original P7 had. And they've got it in this cool, luminous sort of lime yellow colour as well, which I really like. So yeah, XPeng got quite a few pre-orders on that. I think 10,000 in 7 minutes or something like that. They've also got the X9, of course. This is the new version for this year, going to international markets. You've got all luxury stuff in there. You can check out our videos of the X9, the original edition. This is a slightly updated version, but that's my personal favourite MPV from the Chinese market in terms of all of it offers. So let's dive over to one of the big launches or the big events. Now they've blocked off the Zeekr stand, annoyingly, probably because someone famous is having a walk around. But this is the Zeekr 9X. It's a large plug-in hybrid, again with extended range capabilities, so up to 380 kilometers of electric-only range. It's got over 1,000 kilowatts of power. As you can see, it's got an autonomous drive system. It gets Geely's H9 G-Pilot system, so it's got 5 LiDAR units, 5. 2 at the front, 1 at the each side, and 1 at the back as well. It's obviously got the large grille from the 009. And they showed us a lot of the interior stuff on this today as well. So basically, it does come with the rotating second row seats like you get in the lynkco 900. It gets a screen that kind of floats, so it's a twin. So basically, a lot of cars have a small sunroof at the front, and then a screen, and then a large sunroof at the back. This has got a large sunroof at the front that actually does open as a sunroof. And because of that, there's nowhere to mount the screen, so the screen slides forwards from the back of the car and folds down. I think you can just see the screen inside the car there, just about there. I'm watching this on a tiny screen, so it's probably a lot bigger to you. So yeah, it's got a screen that folds down, 17-inch screen I think it is in the back. This is the boss of Zeekr here in the black shirt. He's replaced An Songhui, who I think's gone back to Geely. And yeah, it's got a name sound system, 42 speakers, 3,868 watts of output that can basically cover every frequency of sound that there is capable to listen to. It's pretty crazy. It's an immense sound system. It's got basically like lumbar support that will shape to your back. So if you have a slightly curved back, it will fit your back. You can lay both the second row seats down, do zero gravity mode with them. It is a 6-seater, so there's a third row in there as well. And yeah, it's going to cost either 479,000 for the RMB. This is so about £50,000 for the base version, and the top edition is about 589,000, I think, from memory. So about 60 to 65,000 pounds. So it's basically like a Range Rover with way more capability in most of the areas. It's probably not quite as good off-road, but it does come with triple motors and a 2-litre engine at the same time to give you over 1,000 kilowatts of power. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.1 seconds in the max, in the hyper version, so not ultra, but a hyper version of that. And what else can I tell you about it? Yeah, it's just a mega car. It's got 2 motors on the rear, so it can spin around on the spot, and it doesn't come with rear wheel steering. But yeah, it's very, very fancy. They launched that earlier today. I'd like to get you closer to it, but currently the stand appears to be off limits while somebody famous gets a look at the car over there. I'll try and come back and get you some more B-roll to whack over the top of this if we can get a good look at the interior. There's usually a few of the company car bosses, like Xiaomi's boss and so on, wandering around, and they get to look at their competitors, and they're all very friendly with each other. So the crowd is being kept away from whoever the famous person is. But yeah, the 9X is coming. Deliveries or sales, pre-sales have started. Sales will begin shortly after this video goes out, I guess, in about a month's time. And It's going to be a big one. It's an expensive car, let's be honest, it is expensive, especially in this Chinese market where you've got the ES8, which is comparable but fully electric, and that will be it'll be interesting to see how the price stands up. Now this is the lynkco stand that also has a bit of a Lotus on here as well, and a Zeekr 001 FR. This is the one that's got 1,500 horsepower or something, and 4 motors. They are bringing out an updated version of this later this year that's going to have about 2,000 horsepower, so it's going to be ballistic. They want to take back their record at the Nürburgring from Xiaomi. This is the 007 Kung Fu edition, so that one's pretty quick as well. We've got a Cyan lynkco 03 Plus TCR. This is a track edition with the kind of diffuser and 4 exhaust pipes and the massive rear spoiler on the back. Actually, you can drive these at the Ningbo race circuit in China. You can even race the more basic version, which I think is this yellow one. You can pay 5,000 RMB to race that on a track for a weekend, which is quite cool. Just don't crash it, because then it costs a bit more. They also, of course, launched this, the lynkco 10. So this is the hybrid version, the EMP version of the lynkco Z10. Z10, yeah, that's right, yeah. And we've got a video of this coming out too as well, so I won't give you too much information about that one. But again, it does come with the Geely H7 autopilot system, or G-Pilot system. It's a very good looking car, this one. Absolutely love it. It's going to be about, I think it's about 500 and something horsepower from memory. It's not quite as quick as you might expect with that much power. And it's got a very weird acceleration curve on it. But again, I'll share that with you during the driving section, but it does look absolutely amazing. They've also updated the 08 EMP. So EMP, this is like BYD's DMP, which is P for performance, dual motor. So they've got a new hybrid, basically not a hybrid system, it is a hybrid. They've got a new autonomous driving system on this, so you can see those turquoise lights in there. Someone's filming the car from D-Car here. So I'll show you the blue lights. She's showing you the turquoise lights over there. Let me cruise around the back here, not get in the way of all the cameras. So they've got an updated grille on the front of this as well. This is the 07 here. This has also been updated. EMP as well, with the turquoise lights on there. There's a little kid having a look on the inside. I'll show you the interior on there. We have driven the 07. I'm not sure if it was the dual motor version or not. Front end is slightly better on this, a bit more stylish down there. So it's really cool, the 07. Do like it. So this lady's filming, so I've just slightly interrupted her video. And they've got whatever this is up there as well. So yeah, really busy haul, this one. Let's now head to hole 10 and our 5th hole of the day. Alrighty, welcome to hole 10. Our 5th hole of the day. That last one was quite a big one. This one might not be quite so big, but it is quite busy. The post-lunch stampede has arrived. Now we'll start with deepal on the right side this time. So we actually know that there are new deepals coming, including the A06. That is not here. That might be at the Munich Auto Show next week. What they're showing off here is the new S07. So this has been updated. As you know, there's the Mazda EZ60, which is based on the S07. This is the updated S07. I don't know any details about this. So what I'll do is I'll just dive into the car and show you a little bit about the interior of the S07. So we do get, it looks fairly similar. I'm not super familiar with the S07's interior. But again, lots of lovely soft touch materials. Slightly glittery plastic in there, which is a little bit weird. Now the S07's interesting because it does come with it used to come with a screen up here, but this one doesn't seem to get the screen anymore. You've got the 15-inch screen in the middle, you've got a head-up display as well. You've got a front princess seat here with leg rests and stuff, and you've got Dolby Atmos sound system. I wasn't at the press conference for this, so I'm not sure what the updates are for it. Maybe more power. I think it is available as an EV and a plug-in hybrid. This is the EV version, the badge says so on the back. And I think it's like 190 kilowatts of power. Maybe it's more powerful now. Probably has faster charging, maybe some different batteries. I'll put some details about this on the screen once I learn what they are. It's very limited time during the day to see all the things that are happening. Now this is the, what is this one? This is the SL03. This is also getting updated, I believe, at some point. And they've now got 2 versions of this. The SL03 and the, I think they call it the I forget the name now. They got another version of this that's very similar but not the same. This is the interior of the SL03, which I believe you're getting in places like Australia. This screen should be able to tilt both ways, but currently I can't move it. Single wireless charger on there. Lovely kind of sporty black and white interior. I think this is the slightly sportier version. That's plastic up there. Head-up display, little screen behind the steering. It's quite funky. It's quite a stylish car, this, and it comes with orange seat belts too. I don't know if you saw those copper seat belts in there. But yeah, they have a slightly different version, which I want to try and show you. Try not to interrupt people's videos. I don't know which way cameras are pointing. This one certainly looks different. So you see the grille on that one there, which has digital lights on it. This one's got different lights at the front. So again, I'm not sure what the details are. There's something down there, deepal light or something. Anyway, I'll leave that one to it. Of course, they've got the SO9, their large 3-row SUV, and this blue one over here might be the one I'm looking for. It's a shame they haven't brought the AO6 because it's quite cool. If you want to see pictures of it, that's it. They call it LO7. So you can find the AO6 on our website, InsideChinaAuto.com, and lots of news and updates on that as well. Let's see what the difference is between this one and the other one. This one doesn't look quite as sporty inside, so no screen behind the steering wheel on this one. Smaller screen in the middle. It feels a bit more kind of laid back, slightly more professional, let's say. Not as sporty and aggressive as the other one. Still quite nice seats though, and you've got speakers in here as well. But yeah, a confusing one that they have a similar price point as well. And they look very similar, but this one's got a slightly rounded nose on it. But yeah, the SO7, I think you're going to get in Australia, probably Europe as well, at some point. Now let's cruise on down to Ford. Also the SO5, you're going to get the SO5, which is over here. I don't know if you've seen the SO5 yet, if they've shown it in Australia. But that's the SO5, it's a smaller version of the S07. I'll take you inside that. So this fella's getting a video, I'll step back for a second. This one's got a totally flat load area. That's quite unique. Not many Chinese cars come with a totally flat load area when you fold the rear seats down, but a big screen in the middle there. Squidgy stuff on the dashboard. Force, something on there says Force, I'm not sure what that means. Again, a princess seat on the front, so you've got this leg rest that comes out down there. You've even got, got some kind of, you can put it in zero gravity mode as well. You get a zero gravity mode front seat on this. I didn't know that. Bit of space under the dashboard as well. Fancy sound system? No, it's Deepal audio, so that's just the name of the brand. But yeah, look at that. Totally flat load area in the back of the SO5 with the base cushions that fold up. That feels like a very European thing. Chinese brands do not do folding up base cushions like we do in Europe. So that's a sign that they've kind of prepared it for Europe. Now this is a Ford stand that doesn't look like it's got many cars on it. They've got, I think that's the Everest, I think they call it. And there's a lot of people at the back of the stand. Let's go and see if there's anything worth looking at in the Ford stand. They've got a Bronco stand somewhere in the show. We've got some pickups up there as well. F-150s. A Raptor as well. And then the orange one, which might be the Explorer. I think that's the Explorer over there, whatever that fella's looking at. Sorry, the camera's pointing upwards. But yeah, a lot of people on the stand, but not a lot of stuff going on. And then a Bronco all the way up there. So we'll just ignore Ford for a minute. We've got Changan Group at the end. They're about to do a presentation, so I might try and avoid them for that reason. Because the audio is really loud when there's a presentation, so I'll just cover my mouth slightly to direct the voice down to the microphone. The only thing to really show you over here is, once I get there, is the EO7. That's a Qiyuan, which you are going to get in international markets. So yeah, Deepal expanding out into international markets now. Then we've got Mazda. They are made by Changan in China. This is the EZ6, which you are getting now in international markets. We've also got the EZ60. This is not on sale yet, but is getting loads of orders. This is based on the SO7 I showed you earlier. This is a very cool looking SUV from Mazda, fully electric, basically the same drivetrain. You can get the extended range version as well of this. It's got a very cool front end on it there, look at that, really nice. See if we can dive into the car while this guy is taking a look with his Pocket 3. Large, I think 26-inch screen in the front there, if you haven't seen that one before, and decent room in the back as well. I like this purple interior, look at this. Got purple seats and white. Very nice. It's got a decent sound system, I believe, this as well. So yeah, and this is quite cool, the aero that goes through the C-pillar there as well. And you've got some on the bonnet as well, but there's a model in front of the car. So I don't want to look all pervy by getting close to the front of the car. And the last brand in this haul is Avatar. They don't have anything, let's go this way. They don't have anything new for us in Avatar today. But if you know this channel well, and many of you do, you'll know that they have the Avatar 1.2, which is absolutely stunning. I don't think they've got any updates for it, but you can see in there a large screen across the back of the dashboard, plus another screen in the middle. Lots of soft touch materials, Meridian sound systems, triple LiDAR system, cameras for mirrors, Huawei's autonomous drive system. Just very, very stunning looking cars. This is the 06, which we have reviewed quite recently on the channel, and a weird cowboy lady there next to it. This is a very cool car, quite premium and affordable at the same time. Coming to Europe as well, so if you like this car, expect it in Europe, you're going to get it. They've also got the, sorry, let me show you the 06 in case you haven't seen our video. I'll give you a brief look at it. There's the dashboard there with a big screen along the back, big central screen as well. Lovely rear seats in here with kind of a rib pattern, lots of soft touch materials, quite cool doors here with this sort of chopped off design. Again, Meridian sound system, one of the best sound systems you can get in a car. Lovely kind of oval steering wheel. Some people don't like that, I really do. And then of course you've got the 1.1 over here, which we reviewed ages ago. This has been updated too to have 3 LiDARs on it. You get the halo screen on the bonnet too, but you can't see the words on it at the moment, there's no words for it. This one may also come to Europe, I hope it does, because I really like this. Now one thing I will point out, to show you the 07 as well, this is the SUV version of the 06. Comes with the same setup with the screens around there. You can get camera mirrors on this too. Again, the oval or octagonal steering wheel, twin wireless chargers, and you get zero gravity front seats for the driver. Is that in focus there? Zero gravity front seats for the driver and the front passenger. And again, Meridian sound system, cool headrests, big panoramic sunroof with a sunblind, microfiber here in the doors, and a lovely green colour as well. Now one thing I will call out very briefly, a whole bunch of people in markets that are not officially, it's got lights on the roof there, I didn't notice those before. A whole bunch of people who bought these from markets that are not officially Avatar markets are currently struggling to get over-the-air updates from Avatar. They've asked me to help them, so I'm going to try and help out today and see if I can get someone who will get in touch with them and try and sort that problem. But I'm going to try and call it out in the video today, because yeah, they were one of the first buyers of these cars, and whilst they weren't official, they had to import them to their countries. You know, they're super passionate about the brand, and they're getting a damaged reputation in those markets now because of the lack of customer service, even though they're not officially Avatar markets, or some of them now are, but they weren't before. So just a little call out for those guys to Avatar to help them out, because they bought your cars to begin with, whether unofficially or officially, they bought them. This is, by the way, the 012, which is the Kim Jones edition. I've seen one of these in a car park in China. Very cool. It's the 1.2 basically, but with some fancier treats on it. So that is the haul 10, our 5th haul of the show. We are almost halfway through. Okay, this is haul 9, the apex of the C-shaped Chengdu, or boomerang-shaped Chengdu Auto Show. This is traditionally BYD's spot. As you know, BYD has 4 brands: Denza, Yangwang, BYD itself, and Fangchengbao. I'm going to avoid Denza because they're making a lot of noise over there. They've not got anything new anyway, but I'll come back to them later if the noise has stopped. Now, nothing new from BYD for the first time at an auto show. This is the Tang L SUV that we drove recently on the channel. This will go to Australia and some other markets as the Sea Lion 8. I don't think you'll get the drone box on the roof though. You can get that as an extended range or a full electric SUV with one version that gets a 580 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, and we'll do megawatt charging. So it'll charge up to 400 kilometers in 5 minutes on the right charger. So that's the kind of leading car in the BYD range, along with the Han L EV over here. This one also comes with the same 580 kilowatt motor you can get, plus like a whole bunch of other power from a front motor as well, and again the same megawatt charging. They've been showing off the Chin L EV here, which has been out for a while, so it's not a new thing. I'm not sure if that one's going to go to international markets. It's more of a ride-hailing car for China. Still looks pretty cool. I like the look of this. It's very sort of sharp and chiseled. It's a bit smaller than a Model 3, or quite similar to a Model 3, I would say. And then we've got the 07 DMI. These have all got that's 2026 edition. So that gets the God's Eye B. You can see you've got the LiDAR unit on the top of the windscreen there. So that's the kind of the middle of range BYD system. Not sure if we can dive inside the car while no one's looking at it. Let's have a quick look inside. Cleaners are always cleaning the cars constantly. So you got like a maroon, a burgundy and white interior on this. We get a fridge in the armrest down there, screen in the middle. This is a hybrid version, basically, of the Chin L. I think comes with a DIN audio sound system. One thing about BYD doors, you always have to give them a good push to shut them, which is a bit annoying. This is the Seal 06 GT. We've done a video about this one, but as of yet, it's still not going abroad. They told us it would, or they certainly made that intimation last year when they launched it here in Chengdu, but as of yet, not going to international markets. So we'll see when that does come. Then we've got the 07 DMI, which again comes with the drone box on top. We've got the new Dolphin, so the updated Dolphin, which comes with a fridge inside in the armrest for about 4 cans of drink or 2 cans of drink. You've got your Seagull, that's now starting to make its way around the world as the Dolphin Mini, or the Dolphin Surf. Great car this. And then we've got the Sea Lion 06. Now, we drove the Sea Lion 05 recently, which I can't see, might be at the other end of the stand. This is probably going to replace, you can get this as an EV or a DMI, this is probably going to replace the Seal U or Sea Lion 06 that you have in Australia and other markets like the UK. So that's what it's going to look like, and actually based on that, I will give you a quick look inside it. The styling's gone quite soft at BYD with the new Sea Lions in China. So you do get a head-up display, you get a screen behind this sort of black panel all across the dashboard there. You do get a big 15.6-inch screen in the middle with the latest D-Link system, single 50-watt wireless charger, and of China at least, not sure if you get this abroad, but you get a little fridge. You can get 4 bottles of drink in there, as you can see. And you can also make that hot as well as cold, which is quite nice. Quite spacious in the back. It is a bit more modern than the Sea Lion 6 that you guys get in international markets. Honestly, I drove the Sea Lion 6, the one currently available abroad in New Zealand. I'm not sure if the one that we were driving was damaged or something, but it had the weirdest handling of a car I've ever driven. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't broke. I'm pretty sure there was something wrong with it because it was odd, but that one will be much better. So there you go. This is the Yangwang stand. The U7 is their latest car, as you may know. Very curious styling on this one with a kind of very pinched face where it feels like everything comes together in the middle here. You've got that kind of C-shaped daytime running light around the front there. We haven't driven this one yet. I can put some B-roll over the top of this one doing like a little dance earlier, so it's got this kind of active suspension that, you know, moves all over the place. I think it's the Dissus, might be Dissus P, I'm not sure which one they're currently using at Yangwang at the moment. We've also got the U8L that has been launched here. Well, not launched here, it was released, it was shown earlier, but you can actually get inside it now. I sat in the back of this earlier. This comes with the E4 E4 drivetrain, so electric motors all over the place. You get the same Yangwang U8 interior with the triple screen setup and head-up display, digital rear view mirror, twin sunroofs and a screen in the back as well. It is a luxurious car this, so I'm not sure about this beige colour on it. The rear seats, as you can see, you can get kind of a zero gravity on these two rear seats here. You can get into the third row as well. Not a massive amount of space in there, but there's a bit of flexibility, and you do get heating on the rear seats. And they've got, of course, God's Eye A on the Yangwang. Sorry, God's Eye A, the best one on the Yangwang. So you get 3 LiDAR units, I believe, on that. So that's kind of a long wheelbase version of the standard Yangwang U8 that you can see over there. This is the U9, which you'll have seen before, so I won't really cover it. I will cover it because this has just broken the record, I think, for the fastest electric car in the world, hitting, I forget what the number now, something like 480 kilometers per hour or something mental like that. There's going to be some numbers on the wall somewhere. I can't see the numbers on the wall, but yeah, basically it basically broke a record for being just out ridiculously fast. And they've launched a track edition of it. This is the one that did it, with 4 550 kilowatt motors. So each corner has a 550 kilowatt motor on it for 3,000 horsepower. 3,000 horsepower in a car is just ballistic. And it was going over 200 miles per hour and 300 miles per hour and just kept on pulling. It's an insane video to watch. I implore you to go and check it out online. It's a mad car, this. It's got the Dissus X active suspension system, which means it's got some air suspension, also some pneumatic, and all these kind of variable dampers and things like that. So it can also do this dancing thing on the floor. It can jump off the ground, it can jump over potholes, which I don't think will ever really be a function that people use on the road. But it is mad, and it is the fastest electric car in the world for the highest top speed. And yeah, I don't know what the 0 to 100 time will be, but it must be something pretty insane. So this is the U7. I'll give you a quick look inside this, because we couldn't get inside this at Shanghai, but we can here. So you can see it's, again, the same luxury setup you get in a Yangwang. You get carbon fibre on here. There's a screen on the dashboard there built in, another one in the middle. Head-up display. You get the kind of the fancy sound system that you get in the Yangwangs. I forget what the actual system is. It says Evidence Platinum on the actual speakers, but there's a name for the brand that does this, which I forget. Quite luxurious in the back, has to be said. You get kind of backrest angle adjustment there. There's probably a fridge down here. I think there is on this screen, just down here somewhere. So I think there's a fridge in the back and also between the armrests at the back there as well. And there's 2 versions of this car. You can get what they call the coupe and the saloon version. I'm not sure which one this is, to be honest with you. They're quite similar, but slightly different. So yeah, that's the Yangwang U7. Again, it comes with the E4 system, so you get 4 electric motors on it. It's very quick. I think it's like 0 to 100 in 2 point something seconds. Oh, sorry, could have got the exit on this side. Not sure why a normal exit doesn't work when nobody's coming in. But yeah, this is the other version. I think this is slightly different at the back. But yeah, it comes with the Dissus kind of gold suspension there. So I forget if that's the hydraulic one or the pneumatic one. Now we'll go over to Fangchengbao. They've got the new Thai 7 here. So they've got the Bao 8, which is that car over there. They've got the Thai 3, which you can see here. So yeah, it's the Thai 3 here. That's the small one, that's fully electric, with quite a cool little frunk on it. Comes with God's Eye, must be C because there's no LiDAR on it, so you've got the kind of blue lights on there as well. Can't get closer because there's people filming. Now this is the Thai 7. This is new. It's quite difficult to distinguish this one from the Bao 8. But you get different lamps on this one. You get kind of this step design here on the front, a bit more of a rounded front end. I'm not sure if it's hybrid or fully electric. I'll see if I can get into the back. There's people moving around the car. Interesting lights on the back here too. Again, the same step design at the back, but quite small. And the light up Fangchengbao logo on there. I'm just going to dive my camera in and very quietly speak here. So you can see there the fairly small screen in the middle, actually. Closed central console, center console there. Twin screens, so not quite the same as the flagship Bao 5. Get slots here for tablets and things. I don't see a fridge. There is a fridge in the middle there. I'm not sure if I can get the angle down there, show you the fridge. I think the camera pointed down, then I couldn't see the screen. So yeah, that's the Thai 7. And yeah, it might be fully electric. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the specs of this yet. That's the Bao 5, which you're going to get in international markets as the Denza B5. We did like this one. There's a video of that on our channel. You can find that on our main page. Yeah, that is the Fangchengbao stand. Let's cruise over to Denza. As I said, I'm not sure there's anything new at Denza. I was over there checking it out earlier, and I don't think there's anything new. But I'll give you a close-up look at the Denza N9, which I think we covered briefly in Shanghai. This one gets the E3 system, so 3 electric motors on this one, plus the engine, of course, because it's BYD, DMO platform. Nobody's in it, which is great, so let's just dive in here. So a luxury interior there, triple screen setup across the front, head-up display, pop-up speakers on the dashboard with this kind of crystal-y, silvery stuff on there, if that's working. You've got twin wireless chargers. You do get a fridge in the middle or in the back. You get real wood. Don't like the concealed vents in here, but that's where they are. You get panoramic roof at the front with a screen in the back. It's a 3-row SUV, this one. So you get all these kind of controls for your rear seats. Both of these, I think, can do 0 gravity as well. You can also slide them inwards. So this is what's interesting. You can slide them inwards and outwards. You can see that's moving on the camera. So I'm not sure why you'd want to be any closer to the person on the other side of the car, but that's it. Get tray table in the back here with a bit of space for your phone. It's not a wireless charger though. And you've got space in the rear seats there as well. Quite a good amount of space. You get a bit of adjustability for your backrest angle and your tilt angle of the base cushion on these, which is quite fun. And you get heating in there, and I think a massage function as well, but no ventilation on the 3rd row. You do get heating, ventilation and massaging here. You get, of course, the DVLA sound system, so a good sound system, and sun blinds built into the rear doors there as well. So that's the N9. The only update, I think, is this sort of flagship version of the D9 MPV. People taking photographs with fancy hats on in the car for some reason. So this is the DMI version. Cool lights on this. I'm not sure what the real updates are. A friend of ours on the channel, China driven, he's borrowed a D9 this week in Chengdu while he's here, and he seems to have got some poverty spec version that has no heating, ventilation or massage function for the front seats, which I didn't know existed in China these days. This seems to be an updated version, so let's see, we've got kind of more stuff there. Maybe we get heating, ventilation and massage in this one, I don't know. Seems that the focus is really on the back seats, which seem really quite nice there. And you've got a fridge down at the bottom as well, and no screen up there, but you do get, there's not even room for tablet holders. So yeah, I'm not sure that the D9 is really the best MPV out there. I think the X9 from XPeng and the Zeekr 009 and the Li Mega, they're considerably better MPVs. And yeah, let's cruise into Hall 8 or Hall 7. We're halfway through the show. Okay, so this is Hall 6. Weirdly, Hall 7 and 8 have disappeared. They don't have a Hall 7 and a Hall 8. So we'll start with Leapmotor here. Let's dive over to there. These guys are doing really, really well. They're now over 50,000 units per month in China. They are profitable for the first half of this year. They are, of course, a brand that does electric cars and extended range hybrids as well. The B10, which is their latest sort of compact SUV. This one is only fully electric, as is the B01 Saloon, which you can see here. This one I'm not sure if it will go to Europe or not, because saloons are not really that big in Europe, but it's basically like a saloon version of the B10. So you get this kind of the same large screen in the middle. You get these kind of modular things you can stick stuff on, like a tray table in case you want to do any work in the front of your car. You get a wireless charger over there, but it's not ventilated, so that's going to cook your phone. A pair of cup holders in there. Lovely interior colour though, to be fair, so the camera's gone up there. A little screen mounted on the kind of the stalks behind the steering wheel. These are proven really popular with ladies apparently. I think the sales are something like 90 or 80% female for the B01, and it has done quite well to begin with. A little tissue box holder concealed down there, which is nice. USB A and C sockets, and a pair of cup holders in the centre, plus a suction plate here where you can put those plates for your kids so they don't knock them all over the car and they don't go flying. But yeah, very affordable cars, Leapmotors, and pretty reasonable looking. The B01's interesting. The B10, as I said, is more of an upright version of the B01, so you can see down here we got these cool sort of cup holders that fold down on there. You can pop those up as well. Again, wireless charger, but only one on this side. Same modular attachment stuff there. You can put bins and things, and the glove box is open underneath there at the same time. And then we do get a center console here with a bit of stuff inside. Now, we've recently driven the Leapmotor C16 5-seater. That review coming to the channel very soon. A lot of you requested it, so we went out and found it. So you can see that review coming up quite soon. That's the B10. That one is going to Europe, and I believe in the next couple of weeks they're going to introduce the might be called the C01 or the B05, which will be hatchback, I believe. That one's going to be coming to international markets. It's going to be in the Munich Auto Show. So if you're excited about Leapmotor, head down to Munich and check it out. That's your B01 and your B10. So they haven't launched anything new at this show. They are focusing on Europe. This is the C11 over here, which is their original, one of their early models, but it has been updated and changed slightly. So we've got, instead of a triple screen setup in there, you've just got a large screen in the middle, small one in front of the driver, and a head-up display as well. This is the C16, but that's the 7-seater version, so you do get the rear seats in here. I'll give you a tip, the 5-seater is really good. The 5-seater is better than the 7-seater, so that's the interior there. Very similar to the C10, which we reviewed already last year. So you can see very similar setup on the inside, but the C16 is much nicer actually inside. The proportions are better, the materials are better, it's just overall a better car. So you can look forward to that review on the channel. Now we've got Volkswagen Anhui, otherwise known as ID Unix. This is the ID Unix, which I call the Unix corn, because you don't see many of these on the road. They are very rare. Even with, sorry, I just took the microphone, even with the, sorry, point the camera in the right direction, even with the price cut, which makes it very affordable, not many people buying it. It's got a very Volkswagen-y style interior with that rubbish old screen with the capacitive touch buttons at the bottom, and it's still got the stupid 2-switch window thing on the driver's side as well. But you can see it doesn't really look, it's not like a modern EV front end. That it feels a bit packed, where it should be a bit emptier. Now this is the concept they showed in Shanghai called the ID Evo. This is getting the platform, I believe, from XPeng. And I've actually seen this car testing with prototype kind of camouflage on it outside XPeng's headquarters earlier this month. And it is going to look just like that. So it's going to have the same lights, the same kind of feline looking front end with this kind of thin moustache on it. And it's quite good actually. It looks really sort of quite sporty. I like the sculpting on it. It makes it look quite exciting. Slightly BMW XM-like at the rear. But this is Volkswagen fighting back in China. And I think it should be fully electric. But they are going to make one hybrid version of a car. Volkswagen, XPeng of course are going to produce extended range EVs as well. But I don't think that's going to be one of them. So now to the yipai stand. So yipai is kind of Dongfeng's electric and electrified brands. So this is their new car, which is called the 07, I think. Someone's left their sound meter inside there. I'd love one of those to actually test sound inside the cars. But this is quite, it smells, I can't tell if that's plastic or leather, I'm not sure. but it smells new anyway. So you've got soft purple stuff on the dashboard, kind of like this looks like it's got little grooves in it, but it's not. It's totally smooth, just plastic. Single wireless charger, big screen, so same usual setup that you'd expect actually. This is the aeolus, I think it's the aeolus, let's just double check, the aeolus 07, no, the L8, that's what it's called. This I don't think is electric, I think this is a hybrid from memory, and they've made a big deal about this one at the show, but I didn't get to see the launch for it earlier. It's just a generally anonymous mid-size SUV, I'm afraid, so I can't really give you anything more exciting than that about it. As I said, I'm pretty sure it's got an engine in it. I'll double check the back of it, see if it's got an EV sign on it. No. So I think it's a hybrid. I do like these pixel lights though, they're quite cool. They look quite funky, but yeah, nothing exciting or special really from this part of the yipai group. Their other stuff, they've got the 007 and the 008. I've shown you these in Shanghai. This one in particular, great colour by the way. Very good value car, this one. I'd really like to drive this one, but Dongfeng are quite hard to get in touch with. So, nice interior. You get 6 seats in the back. You get a screen. You get a tray table on the back of the front seat there. Pretty good legroom in that third row as well, behind that second row seat. So it is quite spacious. As I said, very affordable. You can get sunblinds in the back. They've also updated slightly the 007. This now has a more powerful motor, I think. It's become a bit sportier. This is just a saloon though, I think. It's not a hatchback. We'll double check that. Correct. It is. Oh no, it is a hatchback. There you go. So hatchbacks coming into popularity in China. Not a very deep boot though, to be fair. Big deep pocket, Tesla-like pocket in the back there, but not particularly deep in terms of the overall height of the boot. But yeah, it's good that they've gone for the hatch on this, which is quite cool. I would show you the interior, but someone's doing a video in there at the minute. So they've also got the Nammi. You've got this one in some European countries now, kind of a compact. Well, I want to say like a Fiesta size car, but sometimes cars that look like a Fiesta size in China are actually not a Fiesta size at all. This is the other Nammi, the Nammi 06. This one's got the kind of the split tailgate there, which is quite funky. So you can sit on that like that fella was just a moment ago. And we'll just quickly check inside the car here. We've got interesting sort of cool pattern on there. That's nice. We've got a wireless charger with considerable venting on it, 50 watt wireless charger. That's a little pocket in there, which is a little bit weird. A bit of tray table space down there. This is quite affordable, but I can't remember exactly what the price is. Might be able to put that on the screen for you if I remember later on. But it's still pretty spacious though. I mean, the rear seats, plenty of room in there. Upright car. This is something like a Nissan Juke size maybe, and that is fully electric as well. Not sure on the specs of that one. Let's cruise over to Rely, which I'm trying to remember if this is Chery's this is Chery's pickup truck brand. I need to walk around these stools to get there. So this is Chery, their pickup truck, the R08. This is going to be going to international markets. Not sure which ones just yet, but I think we saw this at a Chery event last October or something like that. But let's get a closer look at the back of it. Pickup trucks obviously really popular in places like South America, South Africa and Australia and New Zealand as well. I'm not sure if it's a hybrid or fully electric. Pretty big tray though in the back. Pretty basic rear seats, but the dashboard's got a nice big screen in there. Trying to avoid the cameras. And they've got a concept here, the 01 electric pickup. And that's new. That's one of only, I think, two concepts at the auto show. Let's see if I can get you around the front to get you another good look at that one, whilst giving you a circle of this one and getting in everybody's video. It's just part of the game, really. This is the P2X, so that's a hybrid, fully electric pickup. And if Chery are teasing it as a concept, that means in a few months' time, it's probably going to be real. As you can see, it's a double cab pickup. It looks pretty long, looks a bit longer than the orange one in the background. This is just another version. This is a slightly different one, look. This has got more of a Jetor style front end on it, with these kind of circular 4 set lights. This one's called the P3X. So this might actually be a new brand. I think they haven't actually made this as a brand on its own before. So China's brand count goes up this year. That's the R08. That one is an EV, fully electric. Let's check the inside then, because a lot of people are going to be looking for a fully electric pickup truck. Let's see if the cleaner guy will let me dive inside. Just here. So that's the inside. Got a large screen in there. It looks like real wood behind there, but I think it might actually be real wood. I'm not sure. But yeah, lovely interior on this, or quite reasonable interior, with a wireless charger on the right side rather than the left. That is interesting. Little kind of dials in the middle and cup holders and stuff. Got a little tiny screen behind the steering wheel there. That's quite nice. So yeah, let's have a look at the back seats. This one's probably going to international markets as well. Reasonable amount of space in there. Quite a large transmission tunnel, funnily enough, for an electric car. I'm not sure why it's got that. But yeah, sorry, there's a cleaner behind me. So that's the Rely EV. And again, probably that one's going to come to international markets. There you go. I'll try and get some more information on that one. See if I can find some later on. Perhaps we can get a drive of it. Right, let's cruise down to our next stand, and we're not going to spend much time with this brand, but this brand is Jetta, a brand who apparently have just set up a separate company on their own for some reason. A lot of people just standing around, milling around, looking at stuff. Jetta, I don't know why they still exist, to be honest. This is one of the coolest cars at the show, the original Jetta. This was quite popular in China. You still see some of those in the more rural towns and cities. They've updated the grills on these. That's the VS7, which was kind of their staple. These are all just built on really old Volkswagen platforms. People in rural areas buy them because they're dirt cheap. They get this kind of weird inside-out grille look on them. That's the VS8, so it's a bit bigger than the VS7. I mean, they're basically just free cars. Is she getting filmed in there? She is getting filmed, so I'll just show you through the window instead. Still got a big screen in the middle, pretty large one behind the steering wheel, and a wireless charger. But the rest of it is just like pure Volkswagen. It is a petrol car, so you can see, look how deep the floor is. You've got tons of legroom in there, and a massive transmission tunnel through the middle as well. Listen to that door. That sounds like metal on metal. That doesn't feel like a Volkswagen at all. Quite cool lights though on the back of it. But yeah, I'm not going to spend much time with Jetta because it's like going back in time compared to everything else that we see at the show. Very weird door noise close then. See, this one's basically just a Volkswagen La Vida, which was kind of like a Polo saloon here in China. That's just been being rebadged as a Jetta and sold again as something else. So Volkswagen, they, as I mentioned earlier, are made by 2 different brands in China. They just got all their petrol cars here, of which there's not a massive amount of interest. But their electric cars are going to start coming on song pretty soon. The ones that are actually competitive with Chinese brands. One of those is at the back of the stand. I didn't see this earlier. Let's go around the back of this guy's camera. And this is the ID Aura. Now I like the look of this. This is cool. If we can go around the side here. That's really nice. Great proportions on that. Wheels out, right at the edge of the bodywork. Look at it. Look at the lights on the back. They're really nice as well. That's going to be an electric car, fully electric, that one. So I'm looking forward to Volkswagen actually bringing that one out. That might be a saloon you might want to buy. Really, really good. What else have they got? ID7 Vision. These are very rare. You almost never see these. I don't know if they're more popular in Europe, where I haven't been for a while, but yeah, not really selling well here in China. ID4 Cross, not very popular either. And the ID3, you'll see a lot of them in Beijing, Shanghai, sorry, where they're made, but not really anywhere else. Let's head to Hall 5. Alrighty, into Hall 5. There's quite a lot to show you here. So I'm going to start on the right side. This is Chery's Hall. So this is a bunch of Chery brands, apart from the Rely one that we saw earlier. This is their Jetor Zongheng brand, or Zongheng, which is basically their luxury off-roader to compete with things like the Fangchengbao and possibly even the yangwangs, kind of. So this is the G700. We saw this in Shanghai. I think we were able to get a look at it in Shanghai. Let me see if I can find a free one. This guy's getting out, which is great, so I can get a good chance to look into the dashboard here. So there's your interior over there. Now check out the screen on the back of the dashboard. Really cool, slim screen all the way across the back there, a bit like on the Huawei cars. Got some funky little stand-up speakers here. Chunky elements like these grab handles and metal features all over. Large screen in the middle with some kind of typography lines on the dashboard there. A lot of chunky features on the center console. Single wireless charger, only a single one. That is a bit surprising. Is there anybody in the back of the car? Nope, so we're free here. Now it is a 6-seater, I think. The 2 rear seats are folded down. I'm trying to be quiet because this guy's doing a video. You get a tray table on the back of the front seat here. These rear seats come with a zero gravity mode, so you can chill out in these second row seats here. I don't think it comes with a fridge, so you don't get that, but you do get a screen that comes down from the roof and twin sunroofs with an electronic sun blind up there as well. And you get kind of metal grates on these Lexicon by Harman speakers. So Harman Kardon, I think it is the fellows behind those. So it looks a lot like a Fangchengbao Bao 5 this, the overall proportions of it. Comes with the CDMO, so that's a bit like DMO for BYD, but CDMO, because CDM is Chery's hybrid system, plug-in hybrid / EREV system. Just the side profile really looks very similar, I would say, to the Fangchengbao Bao 5 and the stance at the front as well. I saw some of these outside a hotel in Wuhu the other day. They're comparing them to a Range Rover, Land Rover Defender, and the Fangchengbao Bao 8, I think it was, that was there. So it looks like a Bao 5 competes against the Bao 8. You get these kind of funky little details on here, like Enjoy Adventure, little metal plaque on the side. I mean, it's an interesting car, and this one, I don't think this is the one that can swim, but it might be able to swim. And it can clearly go up very steep hills, as you can see over there in the background. Let's cruise over to iCar. Now, iCar, weirdly, they launched their V27, which is quite an anonymous looking SUV, in Dubai a few weeks ago. That's their V23 Cyberspace, so a very funky, futuristic looking version of a car that we drove earlier this year. But they haven't brought the V27 to the Chengdu Auto Show. I'm not sure why that is. There's another Cyberspace there. Get really funky details. They've got lots of customization on these V23s, so you can see here as well. You can get all these kits with the fancy chrome and the circular lights and grills, and that's properly reflective, chromey stuff there. You get wood on the side steps, wood on the side here, and inside, no real changes on the interior. This is one of the funkiest cars coming out of China, and of course it will be sold under the iCar, but with an AUR rather than AR brand in countries like the UK and Australia. Will you get this funky one with the green and the chrome and the spot lamps at the top as well? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you will. But nevertheless, definitely one of the coolest cars coming out of China. I really liked that. The only downside was the rubbish range on the highway. Now we're now at Jetor. So this is the standard Jetor brand, not the Dongheng brand. The L9 and the L7 are their new cars. I'll see if I can find you the L7. I like that they brought their interior seats over here for people to sit down on. You've got cool cars like the T2, which looks a bit like a Defender. Kind of aggressive off-road car there. And I think this might be the T1. That's also a T2. Next to it, there's a T1 somewhere. This is the T1. Possibly. No, it's not. But that's another one of their SUVs. Where's the L7? I think, okay, the L7 is not being... Right, so it's being shown, but only behind this kind of rope here. So apologies for that. Horns going off on one of these. So this is the L7 Plus, I should say. So it's got kind of a closed face, daytime running light across there. They haven't got any of the lights turned on for some reason, not anything like that. But yeah, Not the most exciting car, but it's a bit less chunky and a bit less off-roady than Jetour's other stuff. I think I'm going to leave Jetour alone because they're not that exciting at the moment. Although I would love to drive the T2. Not going to lie. Let's squeeze through this gap here. This one looks a lot like a Defender. Look at this. See how that one's very reminiscent of a Defender. And as I mentioned in my video of a Chery that's coming up soon, that makes sense because Chery is the brand that makes Land Rovers and Jaguars in China. So this is Exceed. This is the Exceed. I think they call it TXL CDM. But in Europe, you guys are getting this as the Emoda 9. And it's got fake exhaust outlets down there because I think it's actually, I don't know if you're getting an electric version of this car. I think it's a hybrid, the one you're getting, same as this. But if you've looked at the Emoda 9, you'll recognize this interior with the curvy screen look on it. These kind of cool sort of barrel-like switches on there. I mean, it's a comfy car. We haven't driven it before here in China, but looks quite big and spacious and looks quite nice. I like this matte silver paint you can get on it, the matte grey paint. Matte yet metallic. Yeah, matte metallic. But yeah, that's the Emoda 9. This is one that we've driven already. This is the Xlantix ET, China's car of the year for 2024. Slightly surprising, I'll be honest. Let's just show you the interior to remind us what that looks like. You get this kind of open center console, you get a zero gravity front seat on there, big screen and dashboard. Very tall, upright dashboard on this. And there's kind of little screen at the back. It looks, I don't know, that just looks like a very odd interior to me, but the aim is that you can slide through from one side to the other. I'm not entirely sure I buy it, but that's the rear seat space. Quite a lot of room, even with this front seat really far back. And you get the magnet mounts on there as well. Bit of a bland looking car, the ET, to be honest with you. Not sure I'd like it that much. The ES is far more exciting, albeit not in that rubbish beige colour. You can get a much nicer one. That ET, by the way, is an extended range hybrid, and they are going to bring a battery swap version, electric one too. This is the ES, which is a saloon, much cooler. You can also get this as an extended range or as an EV. And I believe this is also coming to Europe. Let's get a look at the car. See, it is a good looking car. I'm not looking at the lady. Good looking car. But they've also brought a new model, one of the few new models here in the Chengdu Auto Show, which has been called the EO5 online. I called it the same thing on our website because that's what they've badged it as. But they've gone and launched it as the ET5. So they've just got and changed the name completely. Between, I think that guy's filming, I'll walk behind his camera. They've just changed the name completely in the last few days. So they're now going to launch it as the ET5, which of course you will know there is already an ET5 made by NIO, which is not an SUV like this. This guy's presenting the car, but I think we can still dive towards the dashboard here. And I'm going to be quite quiet, but you can see in there, triple screen setup. So they've got a third screen ahead of the passenger. Bunch of space in the back as well. And nothing much more exciting than that. I think it does come with a real sunroof though. This one probably be in Munich next week as well, or in a couple of weeks' time. A bit more bland on the rear end, but it's got a good wheels out, so the wheels feel like they're pushed out to the outside of the car. It's got a good stance, this, but it feels a bit like a Macan. It's got a slightly Porsche Macan style front end, but like to just fairly similar like that. I'll try and get you a better look of that on the next stand, which is really just Chery Auto, so a full collection of all of them. They've got the Chery X3L, which is also the iCar 03, but they've got an extended range EV version of it, which is this. This is just a body kit. You might be able to buy the body kit, but the normal one looks a bit more different. I'll show you that further around the stand. Quite a cool little SUV. Well, I say little SUV, it's a lot bigger than I think it is actually. Cars are deceptively sized in China, to be honest with you. Now let's just dive around here. We've got an interesting new QQ. So Chery have a famous car called the QQ. That's the QQ over there, QQ ice cream. This is also from the QQ brand. This is the little ant. This was the QQ Curio concept car that they launched in Shanghai, which looks quite fun, a bit like a panda. And then over here, we've got the, what I think is the production version of the QQ Curio, which is called the QQ3. And this is kind of like, it's probably bigger than a Volkswagen Golf actually, but when you're here it kind of feels like a Super Mini. It's not, it's bigger. It'll be big and spacious inside. It will be fully electric. I'll see if I can get you around the back of the car. It's not going to be easy because we've got some lady with children's outfits on making videos in front of the car for some reason. This is the normal X3L. Now there were two versions of the iCar 03, the iCar 03T. This one's based on the T. So I mean, check out the size of the wheels. They're big wheels on a car of this size. What are they? 21 inches. Wow. Big wheels. Active grille on the front. It looks a lot like the iCar, but it's got a new kind of black panel across the front there. It looks a bit rounder, a bit softer. So the 03T had like a fake grille here. They've taken that off on the X3L. Inside, it looks quite cool. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that over the top of this fella. Can we see him there? So kind of a very square, abrupt design inside. Good legroom in the back, but people are just playing on their phone in there instead of actually making content. And that's it's an all-wheel drive version. That is fully electric, I think, but they are going to make an extended range EV version. And we are going to get to drive this soon as well, so stay tuned for that as well. Now they've also launched the T11, the full-wing T11, which is a massive SUV. It's about 5.2 something meters, and again I can't really get near to it at the minute because we've got a fence around it while someone does some filming. But here's the ET5 again, which has a lovely soft nose on it. Let's see if I can slide down the side of this car, get you a quick look on the interior. I'll try and be quiet because this lady's filming. But there's a look at the interior of the car over there. She's looking at me. I'm trying not to distract her. But yeah, there we go. And this is what the lights look like on the back of the car. They look quite cool. But yeah, you can see this is a big SUV, 3-row, 6-seater. You get a screen in the back. I don't know if you can see that up there. You get a screen in the back. You get all the usual stuff. It comes with the CDM hybrid platform. Maybe we'll get to drive that at some point. And then of course we've got another one of these Zongheng G700s here as well. This is the L7 Plus, so we can get a closer look at it over here. Again, someone's filming inside the car with, again, a weird schoolboy outfit on for some reason. I do not get this trend for wearing anime outfits, but he's showing himself reclining. I'm just going to walk away from that. I have no interest. Let's go to the A9L. Now, this one we've actually driven. This one we've just driven, so this will be coming out on the channel pretty soon. This is a way sportier version than the one that we drove. It's got little aero features down there and skirts and stuff like that. It looks yeah, no, it's the same as the one that we drove, but this is the Ultra version. Okay, so they've got an Ultra version now. I think this is a concept car for now. This looks a bit more sporty and meaty than the one that we drove, but it's a good car. This, a large saloon, longer than 5 meters, loads of space, really affordable, but a very good drivetrain, albeit a not particularly efficient one, which you'll see during the video. Right, I think we are 2/3 of the way through. Let's head to Hall 4. Welcome to Hall 4, our 4th to last hall of the day. We're going to go to Hall 1, 2 and 3 next in that order. End with 3 because there's some pretty cool stuff at 3. Let's dive straight into Mengshi over here. This is the M Hero 917. This is the first car that they did. I think that's a 3 or 4 motor setup that you get on this car, but it's very powerful. We haven't got the chance to drive it though. They're quite difficult to get hold of because they're very expensive. This one though is the 817, you can see here. Also comes with a LiDAR unit and the turquoise lights here. I believe this one comes with Huawei's autonomous driving system. And I think this one is fully electric from memory as well. Let me just show you the dashboard. There's a lady filming inside, so I'll try and be quiet. We've got a large screen in the middle, cool metal switches down there, and a big kind of clock thing down there. Let me just zoom in and show you that. That's quite funky. And you've got here the mounting points, the magnetic mounting points that you get on the Xiaomis as well, so you can stick stuff all over the cabin. got lots of luxury materials in here. These are very expensive, these cars. So they're luxurious and pricey for a reason. She's doing a live stream or something in the back of the car. Check out the speakers there. Again, DIN audio sound system. Mengshi or M Hero, as it's known. Yes, there you go. Huawei ADAS. There's your turquoise lights. These are made by Dongfeng, so they're part of the Dongfeng family. Same guys who are behind the Dongfeng brands, the yipai brands, and who else? Aeolus, Thing. Those guys aren't here actually at the show today. There's another 817 over there. I think they've got a smaller version coming somewhere, but I don't think that's here on the stand today. This one is got more of an aggressive front end on it. I like the wheels on that one over there, but that's all I can tell you about M Hero. I should give you a look at this interior on the 917. There you go. Look at these cool. Look at those. That's funky, isn't it? You've got your gear selector on the left side and the mode here on this one, like these kind of aircraft style things. You've got real wood on there, microfiber. You've got triple screen setup, real sort of metal features here. Proper grab handles in the roof, and kind of a cool, very chunky off-road seat. This looks like it would be quite fun to drive. And you get this funny kind of gun handle there on the inside as well. So that's quite fun. So that's the M Hero stand. Let's see if we can cruise off on this end over here. Let's go down to the next one, which is Smart. Feels oddly hushed in this room, again, like some of the earlier halls. We've got Smart over here. They recently, or in Shanghai, they launched the Brabus version of the #5. They've also got a hybrid version, which is maybe on the stage. I think they called it EHP, I think it was, but I don't think it's here on the stand today. So as well as the electric versions of the #5, which are very cool, with these twin 13-inch screens in there, you get a big speaker down here, big bass unit you can take out the car, head-up display, another screen on the other side. Very funky looking design, the biggest smart car ever made with the big funky wheels based on the SEA platform. They also have a hybrid version as well coming out, or extended range hybrid version, which should help it do better in China. Of course, they've got the Brabus versions of the 5 and the 1 and the 3 over here as well. If someone's saying hello to me or not, I'm not sure. And they've got a cool chrome looking one over here with Mickey Mouse sticking out the roof. But it seems like they haven't brought the hybrid version. It's either EHP or EHD, something like that. Now Mercedes-Benz, they also didn't bring anything new to Chengdu. They've got the E300, of course, which you'll recognise from European markets. They've got a Maybach in the back, which honestly doesn't feel that exclusive these days. This is nice though, the CLE Cabriolet. I don't think I've ever seen the Cabriolet version in China, but I have seen the coupe, which I do like. You see plenty of those G-classes, not the electric one, which is the one over here, this blue one. Haven't seen any electric ones yet, not that you'd necessarily know, because they are styled pretty much in line with the standard one. But in Beijing, probably one of the densest locations for G-classes in the world. There's just absolutely loads of them in Beijing. But yeah, it seems that there's not a massive amount of attention on the other cars. I mean, they're all pretty standard. They've got the new CLA in there, but they're kind of letting people in one by one, which just feels a bit like they're trying to be exclusive in when everyone could see that car in Shanghai already. S450, which looks like it's been dropped really low on its air suspension over there. And then we've got AMG stuff over here at the back. What is this an AMG version of? This is the CLE, isn't it? AMG CLE. That's pretty cool, to be fair. That is probably Mercedes' best looking car at the moment, apart from perhaps the GT over here. I mean, that's objectively, yeah, that's probably the best looking car. That's very good. This is what Mercedes-Benz do best. Stuff like this. They should continue doing stuff like that. We've got Lincoln over here. Lincoln don't have anything new. Honestly, Lincoln cars look like they're about 10 years old already. It's just very... When I walk around the Lincoln stand, I feel like that's what America must be like. I know I have a lot of American audience, but these just feel like they're just from a different era. The styling isn't particularly modern. They don't have any EVs that I can think of here in China. I think they're just petrol cars. I'm not even sure they have hybrids in China. But they do have big screens inside. That's the one thing that they have done for China. So I'm just going to ignore Lincoln for today. This is the new special edition of the Firefly, which you are starting to get in Europe now. That's how many coat cartons you can fit in the front of a Firefly. It's 192 litre front, was it, from memory? Got these kind of funky stripes on this one. Got the purple interior. So they're going to do, I've heard that Firefly are going to be a bit like what Smart were like in the early 2000s, doing kind of custom designs and letting you kind of make your Firefly your own, which might be a sales trick that will work, maybe not. They're selling about 3,000, 3,500, or delivering about 3,500 a month, roughly, in China, which is not a lot for a car that's affordable and actually is really quite good, but Chinese people don't tend to buy premium small hatchbacks. Now this is the big thing at NIO, and this is where we're going to struggle to get a good shot of this car. This is the new ES8, which, as I've mentioned I think earlier in the video, is surprisingly affordable. We're going to pop open the back end and see what it looks like in here. Quite a lot. Oh, there you go. The suspension, air suspension just dropped down then as we open that. So we've got a really deep pocket in the back here. Again, like on a Tesla, so you can get some big suitcases in there. You've got a whole lot of switches here on the side for moving your seats forwards and backwards, and you get a button to switch between second and third row as well. So you can control which seats you move. Quite luxurious, as you can see. They've got the second row seats really far backwards there, so the third row is not that spacious in that setup, but it's pretty spacious normally. Got a large screen in the roof. I think it's something like a 32 speaker sound system in here. It of course comes with battery swapping, 102 kilowatt hour battery. They've got this sort of like electrochromatic glass. It's got kind of like blue tint to it. Let's have a look in the dashboard there. I'll try and find a better shot of the dashboard. Let's see if we can. Sorry, I'm just trying to avoid someone's video. Let's see if we can cut in somewhere and get a shot. Everyone's doing a video of this. We have been invited to drive it, but I'm not going to be able to go, I'm afraid, for reasons I'm sure you'll find out at some point in the future. Let's have a quick dive into the dashboard though and show you what the front end looks like. So we've got a horizontal screen in this, like you do get Nammi still, and you get this screen here built into the dashboard there. Lots of luxurious materials all over, kind of real wood in there, twin 50-watt wireless chargers, lovely rear seats with a quilted pattern on them. I'm trying to remember all the different things about this car that I recently did on the story about it on our website. You can check all that out on InsideChinaAuto.com. But you get heating, and I think you might get massage on the rear seats, I'm not sure. USB-C socket in there. You get backrest angle adjustment. I don't know if you can tilt the base cushion or not. You climb down the middle to get into the rear seats. You can get it as a 6 or 7 seater, so you can get a bench. As you can see, that seat actually slides inwards and outwards to give you more space down the middle. This fella's checking it out now. But loads of speakers in there, loads of luxurious materials, and it starts, believe it or not, at less than the ES7 costs. So you can get it with the battery as a rental service for something like 319,000 RMB, which is about 34,000 pounds, which is just outrageous. And I'm not sure how much money they're making on that, but one thing you will see is they are going for the turquoise lights now on there as well. So more and more brands going for the turquoise lights. This is the ET9, which is their luxurious saloon, or well, yeah, it is a saloon, but kind of like a weird, how would you describe it? It's like a torpedo somehow. It's got rear wheel steering. You can see that rear wheel spinning there. The guy's turning it around. It's a lovely car, this. Again, I'm looking forward to driving it at some point. You've got a lovely blue and cream interior colour. That's what your rear seats look like. You've got kind of zero gravity seats, centre console through the middle, all kinds of concealed armrests and things. You can see they've got a screen in the middle down there, and they've got screens on the back of the front seats as well, so they can check out all their stuff. They can get your little screen, a little slit on the dashboard as well. Lovely, wood and leather materials in there. Very premium, a very amazing suspension system that can keep the car totally flat on different bumpy surfaces. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to get you super close to this ES8, I'm afraid. There's just too many people around. But one thing that's worth pointing out, which I can show you here, is this, which I believe is, I think it might be I think it's even bigger than 240 litres, the frunk on this. It's bigger than the onvo L90. But this one also comes, by the way, with 3 LiDAR units. There's also 2 on the side here for the Aquila kind of NOP system. And yeah, this one comes with dual chamber air suspension. That's one of the things that's different between this and the L90. And it is the largest fully electric SUV that you can buy in China at the moment. So yeah, quite incredible car, the ES8. What else can I show you? Let's go to the Hyundai stand. We've got Elantra, called it Xlantics then. Got an Elantra N here. This is one of those cars that kind of does quite well in China. This is a touring car edition, so they have a touring car championship with lynkco competing, and Hyundai are also in that with the Elantra N. Now I thought they might bring us the Alexio, which is their new China-only electric SUV. We haven't got that. Well, look at this. I'm going to jump in right now because outside the motor show I've spotted the Hyundai Alexio. Here it is, weirdly outside a shopping centre. So we can't look inside it, I'm afraid, but this is what it looks like. We've got kind of this sort of weirdly flat front styling. Ooh, just kick the light there. Very different to what a Hyundai normally looks like. Certainly their electric cars. I don't think we can see anything inside. It's got covers on the inside, so we can't see anything in there. So if I can get around the back side, show you the rear of the car. Weirdly, we've got all these flowers here. But yeah, why is this not in the auto show? Why is this outside? That's the back of the Alexio with kind of a looped digital sort of light around the back there. But there you go, just thought I'd throw that in because random spotting on the street. What they have brought us is, I believe, the new Palisade, which does get these quite cool sort of frosted lights on there that are flashing with the camera. Can you get in the Palisade? You can't. So I'll try and show you inside a little bit. Can we see inside there? Not really. Can't really see how many screens are inside. Maybe there's there's an open one over here. So I can just dive into the interior, give you a brief look inside this one. See, this one's got a big curved screen around the back of the dashboard over there, and then kind of a cavity at the front there. Looks a little bit more old school, but it is a 3-row SUV. There's space in the back there. Is there a screen in there? I'm not sure. That's the second row seats. This lady's, oh, she's filming going in the back of the car. Okay, that's what she's doing. And I'll just show you here the 3rd row seats through the glass. So it looks quite spacious, the Palisade, but of course it is a hybrid, not a petrol, not an EV. But yeah, they do have an Alexio coming. Kia haven't come to the show this year, and Kia seem to be the ones that were pushing EVs more in China, but they haven't come to this show. Hyundai have. From memory, actually, I think Hyundai came last year as well, and Kia didn't. So that seems to be a bit of a trend going on. We've got a Bronco stand here. So Broncos are quite popular, kind of as a niche group in China. So you get very funky versions like this with these cool, massive wheels and the funky rip-off roof. Now Bronco, we have seen in the MIIT filings. I like that wooden dashboard over there. That's quite cool. Let's see if that sort of textured dashboard on there. They are bringing out. That's got a convertible. Look at that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, they are bringing out a new version, China only, I think, electric, and an extended range Bronco as well to the Chinese market. So look forward to that. That'll probably be in Guangzhou, I guess. It must be out by then. And over here we've got another one of these. This is Lorenza, who just make the most hideous looking cars. And this is also Lorenza. They're doing some basically kitted out M Heroes and F-150s, and they look terrible. So let's head to Hall 1. 3 more halls to go. Okay, welcome to Hall 1. 3 to go. And this is the Great Wall Hall. So a lot of Great Wall brands in here. I haven't seen anything new from Great Wall at the show. So we've got a lot of Wei cars over here. They've got the Wei Gaoshan, which is their MPV. The same one that the Faraday Future brand basically kitted out with an LCD grille for their recent promotional piece of a car that they probably will never bring to market. They are advertising the Hi4Z and Hi4T platforms. I will have to go and do some research into what they are, because they probably presented it, but I wasn't here earlier. This is the updated Aura Funky Cat, otherwise known as just the GWM Aura, I think it is, in international markets now. I don't know what name they're up to these days. Slightly updated interior, so we've got some lovely soft materials on the dashboard, lovely yellow. This is the GT version, so it is a bit more sporty inside. Kind of a suede Alcantara on these seats. Wireless charger in the middle over there, and some kind of funky little toggle switches down there, a bit like on a Mini. And it, yeah, looks pretty cool. It's maybe going to sell a few more. They're really struggling for sales though, Aura in China. They've even got a slight transmission tunnel down there, which is a little bit weird. But I've always liked the Funky Cat. I think it looks very cool. There used to be loads of these on the road in China, and there's almost none here now. But they've updated it slightly for this year. I'm not sure what the main updates are, because it doesn't really look like it's changed a great deal. Probably slightly different motors, maybe it charges a bit faster. As you can see, they're now advertising it with GWM across the back. Almost like the Aura brand might slowly get shifted out to the side. They do still have the Lightning Cat, but I don't think they've brought that to the show. We might catch it later. Of course, they've got they're really going big on GWM. They've got it on the Haval over there as well. You might be able to see. This is the Way, I think it might be the Mocha. Yeah, that's the Mocha. All named after different coffees. So no real updates with that one. This might be a new Haval. We'll just check out the interior there. So you've got kind of big chunky grab handle. Very off-road and rugged looking this, even though it's not really... Well, I mean, it can do off-road, and it is a Hi4 platform. Very interesting screen setup over there on the driver's side, including a head-up display as well. You get your big grab handles here. Quite nice looking front seats. I've been really trying to get more cars from Great Wall, but they are just not playing ball. So if you're from Great Wall and you're watching this, get in touch, because I want to drive your cars. I want to talk about them and see what they're like. I met a contact in Australia, but he put me in touch with someone in China and they just didn't reply. So it is what it is. Some brands are much easier to get on with and get cars out of than others. This is a Haval Big Dog, the Big Dog with it's Plus, so it might be slightly larger, or have a hybrid drivetrain. Again, someone famous over there at the back serving coffee or something, I don't know. This is the normal version of the Funky Cat. And I'll try and avoid this guy's footage, but I want to try and look inside it if no one else is going to get inside. He's going to get inside as well, but I want to show you the front seats from this angle. There you go, they're really nice. All that sort of dark green, slightly turquoise colour, and you get that kind of with the cream as well. That's really quite funky. Now over here, that's the Gaoshan again. Let's see if the Gaoshan's got any updates. Haven't driven it, so I'm not sure if it has or not, but that's a look at what it's like. It is a 6, might be even be a 7-seater. It is a 7-seater. Quite big seats here in the back. You've got heating and ventilation on there. You've got a little space for your phone, but it's not a wireless charger. USB-C sockets on both A and C. Get a tray table in the back up there, which is good, with some wood on the back of the seats. Screen up there in the roof, and a fridge, probably a heating drawer down there as well. And your standard fare, twin screen interior, like on the Wei Lanshan. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a shame about that grille. That grille it's just not very nice. Now, this is a Poar, basically a GWM pickup, but this is a single cab version. I'm not sure if this is brand new. I saw one of these on the road recently, and I'd never seen one before. So, they're really quite cool. Let me just, he's taking photographs of the interior. I'm going to dive in. So, this is not bad actually. That's plastic. It looks like fabric, like it's got stitching, but it's hard plastic. Bit of glossy paint colour on the outside there. GWM's funky shifter in the middle. Not sure if that's a wireless charger or not. Quite a few physical switches for your diff locks and stuff like that. Very funky big logo steering wheel, and a little slim screen here with some physical switches along the dashboard as well. No head-up display. It is just a pickup truck this, so don't expect too many luxuries. But it is, of course, a split cab. You can see there the body is split, so it's probably on a ladder frame chassis or something like that. It is a V6. so it should be pretty juicy at the same time. And what they have done is updated the tank 500. So this is the new 500 with the high 4Z. So I'm going to try and find out what high 4Z means. I do like these lights on here. This is one of their sort of flagship SUVs from the Tank brand, and it really is quite luxurious inside. Again, we've got some I think that's real wood on the back of the seats there. We've got a few kind of ventilation, climate control switches down there. Lovely blue and cream interior. Nice quilted seats. This is like hard leather. This is the real kind of premium stuff. And a screen up there as well. Let's look at the dashboard. We get a single screen on this one across the middle there. Nice steering wheel. It's two-tone. Start stop switch. A few metal style features as well. Let's try and get in. We do get a sun blind in the back, and again some more wood in here. Metal covers on our speakers. And as I said, more copious wood. Some on the dashboard there, some in the doors, and metal grates on our speakers down here. No fancy front seats, so no kind of zero gravity stuff there, but you've got twin cup holders and some physical controls, and at least twin wireless chargers, plus a cool little clock in there at the same time. So yeah, probably the main update for the 500, I would guess, is the drivetrain. I'll try and work out what that is, maybe put some little text on the bottom of the screen if I can find out. What else have we got down here? We've got a little off-road course test that they were doing earlier. I think someone famous was in there. Might have been the boss of the company, I'm not sure. And then they've got a few more Havals, which I won't focus on too much. I don't really know enough about Haval, to be honest, but that's because GWM don't talk to us. So maybe if they got in touch, we could talk more about them. What else have we got down here? It looks like a lot of 500s. Oh, look at that. We've got the Ballet Cat making a rare appearance. So that's your Volkswagen Beetle. Fully electric. With the sort of funky horseshoe lights on the front there. Have they got rid of the... No, they haven't. They've still got that horrible crystal-y thing down the middle there. But I do like the funky steering wheel with the retro style. These little screens in like a pill shape on there. Nice two-tone brown and cream interior. But these are quite rare. You don't see these very often. Weirdly, I've seen a lot of more guys driving these. And check this out. That looks like a proper like old-style lock there, sticking out from the car, like an old Beetle. But check this out. You don't actually press. Oh, you don't press the button. You pull the handle. So the button moves, but it doesn't actually do anything. You have to pull the handle off. Very strange. But yeah, that's your Ballet Cat. Sorry, crashing into someone behind me. They never actually brought out the Punk Cat, which was the slightly more Beetle looking version. Got more pickups here. I mean, I'm not an expert on pickups. It's got the High 4T platform there. Looks pretty meaty. Australians would probably know a lot more about that than me. Oh, there is a Lightning Cat. There we go. There's a Lightning Cat over here with a funky wrap on it. Now, of course, one of the things that they launched in Shanghai was a V8 engine. Now, I haven't seen that on the stand. I might have missed it. But they've got, of course, this motorbike company now. Don't know how to pronounce this. Suo? I don't know. I mean, how do you pronounce that? S-U-O-U. S-S-O-U-O. But I'm trying to get hold of one of these. I want to drive one. I want to ride one and get a video. They've got a little boxer engine on it, though. That is an 8-cylinder boxer engine for the motorbike with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission as well. So that should be quite a fun bike to drive that. Let's see if we can get hold of one. Now let's cruise down the left side of the hall as we come back. We've got a fairly new Chinese brand that we only briefly touched on in Shanghai, I think also in Guangzhou. So this is 212 and this is the T01. We haven't had a chance to drive this yet, but we are trying to get hold of one to drive. This is a proper old school off-roader. This is formed out of BAW that was part of BAIC, which is Bike, who make cars in Beijing. And yeah, the 212 was originally the BJ 212 was a model of car. They've now turned it into a brand called 212. As you can see, it's a little bit more old school inside, but nevertheless still quite funky. I mean, the seats are nice on this, lovely soft quilted seats with kind of hexagonal pattern on there. Got a lot of physical switch gear, which some people are really going to like in here. Short, kind of stubby dashboard, grab handles, we get one panoramic roof, I think, just one sunroof up there. And this is one basically made for real, proper off-roading. It comes with Potnia speakers. Potnin? Have you ever heard of that brand before? I haven't. Yeah, that's just kind of a funky off-roader, and it can do real off-road stuff. So there is a growing market, as I mentioned earlier, for real off-roaders in China. And the 212, whilst not selling in massive numbers, sorry, the T01, whilst not selling in massive numbers, is just building its brand awareness at the minute, and it's a niche brand, and it probably doesn't cost a great deal to make them. So we'll see how long they hang around for. You can get all these kind of accessories for them, like these lights and the strings that stop the branches hitting your windscreen, funky little rotating lights on the front, and kind of all kinds of attachments and accoutrements on the roof. Then we've got Toyota. They do have a new car here. I'm going to go straight for that one because everything else is boring. Now, don't be fooled into thinking that Toyota doesn't care about EVs. In the rest of the world, they couldn't care less. In China, they're making a concerted effort. That's the BZ5, which came out in Shanghai. It looks really, really cool, that one. But we do have a new BZ7 over here. So we're going to walk through the BZ5s and the BZ3 first. This is a mobility version. Look, you get a seat that rotates out so you can get into there if you've got accessibility issues. But this is the BZ7 over here. This one looks a lot like a Neo ET7 from the back. Very swoopy roofline on that. It is a fully electric car, very sleek looking. Now we can't get into the car, so I'm going to have to lean to the window. What you'll notice in there is the Harmony operating system. So this is Toyota getting really in bed with some of the Chinese companies in China. So it's going to come with the Huawei operating system. I think Xiaomi are getting involved for something else inside the car. And I think it's going to get Momenta autonomous driving system, which is from Beijing, if I remembered all of that correctly. As you can see, it's got a little tiny LiDAR on top of the windscreen there with a little tiny lens on it. But it's a good looking car, that, the BZ7. As I said, they're not going to let us get inside it, but you do get pretty big 21-inch wheels on this. Let's get a closer look at the cabin. We're a bit closer on this side. So you see a Harmony operating system in there. Really quite nice. Again, lots of soft touch materials. Looks like some real wood as well. You've got kind of a front seat that can maybe do some kind of zero gravity mode. Those back seats do look quite comfortable as well. So this is a big fully electric saloon from Toyota. Yeah, they're really giving it a go in China. I mean, a bit like Honda are, kind of. Now, one Toyota that has done very well in China, also electric, is the 3X, or BZ3X, which is based on the GAC Aion V. Lots of sales of these. That's a very lurid orange interior on this. They're super cheap. They're about £11,000 for a 5-seater, fully electric SUV. It's fairly basic on the inside in terms of what you get. So you get a single wireless charger, you get a probably 14-inch screen there in the middle, little screen over there, no head-up display, quite a few speakers it seems, but relatively basic inside, and as a result it is doing well, very well on sales. The downside is it is pig ugly. I mean, that is horrible. All their other stuff is actually quite nice, but that one is not so nice. So that is it for haul 1. We've got 2 more to go. Let's go to haul 2 and we'll end with a high in haul 3. Here we are in haul 2. This is the SAIC haul. Sorry, someone's shouting then. One thing I should point out, by the way, I probably should have mentioned this earlier in the video. If you like any of the cars that you see on our channel, let us know. Details are in the description below. We can help you get hold of them in many markets, US and Canada aside. Sorry about that. That's not our fault. That's kind of governments in those markets. Anyway, let's check out the Rongwei. This is the concept car for Rongwei. They showed this in Shanghai. I forget what they called it now, but you can see it is really quite luxurious. This is a very interesting one because actually Rongwei are not really a luxury brand. They're a cheap, basic brand, but they've got this cool thing with suicide doors, got some very funky ambient lighting in there, lovely comfortable rear seats, fancy concept like futuristic stuff at the front. I'm just not entirely sure why they made it, because although I do like that rear window, that is fantastic, look at that. But I'm not entirely sure why they made it, because this is not what they are. It's very very odd. Very odd indeed. But they have got a new car. It is this, the M7 DMH. So it is a plug-in hybrid. They've got a bunch of electric cars storming around Shanghai, but they've also got a bunch of hybrids. That's the interior. Very much your standard fare. A lot of soft touch materials, single wireless charger. Large screen in the middle. Lots of room in the back, we can see. Let me just open the door here. Lots of room in the rear seats, as you can see. But probably a car that will do really well for ride hailing, which is very much where Rongwei's main audience is, I would say. Guys who do taxi driving. The back end's quite interesting, very curved, a bit like a toenail. So yeah, that's that. Oops, sorry, just ran someone's photograph then. That's their main stuff here at Rongwei. That's what I think. Is that the only car they're showing? Let's get around to the other side of their stand. We've got to unfortunately go around this way. They've got some horrific outfits on today at the Rongwei stand with a brown outfit. Very unappealing. This is a more luxurious version of the M7 DMH, which I don't know if they're trying to market it as a luxurious car. It's never going to cost more than 150,000 RMB. But yeah, they're going to sell an executive edition of it apparently, which, let's have a look inside. Does get a fold flat front seat, we can see that. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, I can see it in real life. Fold flat front seat to give you more space in the back, I guess. But yeah, MG, they've obviously recently launched the MG4, which looks a bit funny here. That looks like a really deep car, doesn't it? It's sat very low on those little tiny wheels. So the proportions are a bit funny on the MG4. Let's see if we get near to one, because it does seem quite popular. A lot of people having a look at it. A lot of sales people around as well. Chengdu is primarily a sales motor show. This guy's got an Action Pro. I'm going to dive in there very quickly. Show you this two-tone sort of purple over cream interior. Fairly standard, probably 13-inch screen there, little wireless charger, some storage, hidden ventilation, that's quite neat inside there, and a real glove box as well. It's going to be mostly basic stuff, but it looks a bit nicer than the old MG4, a bit less divisive. So you get these semi-Union Jack tail lamps on there, pretty big boot. Check that out, that's quite deep, that boot. There you go, look at that. Sorry. And a really massive MG logo on the back as well there, look. Huge. Will that go back down again? There we go. Huge MG logo on the tail. But I think it looks a bit neater. For me, it feels smaller than the old MG4. But I think the wheel, it just feels slightly underwheeled. Like maybe it could do with bigger alloys to just boost it a little bit. They have got a sporty version here, which I did quite like when I saw it earlier. A bit like a rally style one, a 3-door, so they've sealed off the rear door there. Put these fat wheels on that have been stretched over the alloys. Big diffuser down at the bottom. Massive spoiler. I like how it says made in China on the rear spoiler. Even though they like to promote the Britishness of the brand. Big, thick aero down the side of the car. But that's the MG4. I think that's now on sale in China, but I haven't seen any on the road. Now over to Buick. I did promise you Buick had something at the show worth looking at. I'll weave through these people. Not many people looking at it at the moment, but this is, well, they haven't brought the L7. They've got the Buick Electra L7. This is a concept car, this one, and the L7 looks a lot like this. So one thing you'll recognize on the L7, when it does finally head to international markets, will be this. Oh, they turn the lights off. So these all light up red, and here you get these turquoise lights. I think I took a photograph earlier. I can maybe try and put that on the screen. But yeah, they brought out a saloon that is, I think, an extended range EV. I mean, the concept cars are absolutely beautiful, really juicy looking cars. Very nice. But whether they'll sell in big numbers, I don't know, in China. We'll see. They have got a new GL8 as well. So they've got a couple of different versions. The Avenir, there's another one, and they've got one called the Encasa now, which is finally a fully electric Buick GL8. We've been waiting for ages for a Buick GL8. Every other MPV in China has gone electric except the GL8. Now it finally has. I like this kind of a shark fin here on the back there. This is just the concept though, so they haven't got the road going version of it, annoyingly. And very soon they're almost certainly going to have an SUV, very much like this concept car here, which again looks really nice. Buick's design studio, or one of them, is based here in China, and this is what the extended range platform looks like. So it's got the engine there with the electric motor, not the largest battery in the world, probably about 30 odd kilowatt hours. We'll find that on our website, and of course a fuel tank because it is a hybrid, but no electric motor on the rear axle, so it's not going to be a sports car or a performance car. We've got Maxus now on the left side. Buick, by the way, are produced by SAIC in China, which is why they're here in this room. Maxus I'm not really going to bother with because it's mostly vans and camper vans, and that's not my area of expertise. But what I will show you is Wuling. They've got a very small stand here today. No Baojun today, only Wuling. They've brought their new MPV, which is the 730, this one here. It's very much a Wuling of old. They're very conventional styling rather than their new, much more cool stuff. I don't think we can get inside. Have they? They have locked off the interior. We do have details about this car on our website. You can get this one as a full-on petrol car, as a hybrid, or as an electric car. And I think it gets a 100, maybe 120 kilowatt motor on the electric version on the rear axle. So it's not going to be super fast, but it will store 7 people in relative comfort, and it will cost almost nothing at the same time. This is their new hatchback slash MP SUV called the Bingo S. So you know that they have the Bingo, which we've reviewed in our channel, which is quite a cute little car. This is bigger than all of their small cars. Not the most powerful in the world though. It's about 90, maybe 100 kilowatts again, I think, on this one. It's got a fairly nice interior though, which I'll show you. The standard Wuling steering wheel, they nearly all look like this on their small electric cars. This is bigger than a Golf, by the way, so it looks small, but it's big. It's there's your kind of screen in the middle. It's about 12.3 inches, something like that. You've got chrome across the dashboard. You've got a wireless charger in the middle. Loads of space under there. Pair of cup holders. Pretty nice looking front seats there. You can see they've got the Bingo name on the seats here. And quite a few little speakers around the cabin as well. Premium sound system. I'm not sure it's premium if you have to write it on the speakers, but this is going to be a super affordable car. It's going to cost about 80,000 RMB. Pretty spacious in the back, and you know what, for a Wuling, that's a pretty solid sounding door. So they definitely have improved massively the last couple of years, and I do quite like these lights at the back. They're very nice. I think they are 17-inch wheels, 16 or 17-inch wheels with Linglong tires on. So it will be, I think it's a rear driven car, 100 kilowatts. I think it's rear driven, I'm not certain on that, but the charging port's at the front. Again, fully electric, that one, because Wuling are pretty good at that. And they've kind of refreshed their design language now. It's a bit more aggressive, a bit sharper on this than it is on the Bingo and some of their other small cars, which are much more rounded and softer. Aion have got a pretty small stand. Aion, part of GAC, one of their sub-brands. Not a lot going on with this brand at the minute. Sales are stalling and going downhill, so they need a hand somewhere. They are producing, though, a LiDAR version of the Aion V, so this one will be able to do some level of self-driving. They're working, I think, was it with Deeproot or with a different brand? They're working with one of the autonomous companies in China. I can't remember which one. And this is the BZ3 that we saw earlier. This is kind of the original version of the Toyota BZ3X. This is what it's based on, and it looks pretty good. It's just inoffensive, but not really selling in big numbers. Aion used to make massive money selling Aion Vs and Aion Ys. This is the RT, which is the kind of the saloon. I'm going to look at this car because no one's taken a look at it, so let's have a look inside. I've started to see a few of these now. They actually sold quite a few of these at the start. Just again, standard fare interior. Get yourself a wireless charger and your big screens and soft interiors, but not the most attractive. I would say though, plenty of legroom, a lot of space in the back of the RT there. But yeah, that profile of that car is just not really super popular these days. And the UT, which was supposed to be a big hit for them, which is this one that's had the bumpers removed. This is quite cool, the UT. Again, we'd like to drive this 100 kilowatt motor on this, so it's not going to be the fastest thing in the world. But again, it's probably about the same size as the Volkswagen Golf, maybe bigger. and you'll see that it's kind of fairly, I'll just go on the driver's side instead, I don't want to peer over this lady's shoulder. Let's see if we can get a quick look inside there. So you can see fairly basic interior, but quite quirky, kind of funny little details down there, little wireless charger and cup holders, funky little vents, these little kind of rounded off rectangles there, bit of checkered pattern behind the dash, and it's just a cool little car. Cool little car. This one will be going to international markets, so perhaps they'll do better when they get there, because you'll have an alternative to a Volkswagen Golf or Ford. Well, they don't do Ford Focuses anymore, do they? But you know, that kind of mid-size C-segment car, it's about the same size as that, but it's electric, so that's a benefit. Now Geely, they're not part of SAIC, of course. They have, this is the Starray 8, so the plug-in hybrid version of the E8 that we drove a couple of years ago. Let's see if we can get a look at the interior over this lady's shoulder. So yeah, I mean, they're quite luxurious, these. It's essentially like a more affordable version. It's got the EMP platform, so it's powerful enough. It's a bit like a more affordable version of the lynkco 10 EMP that we saw earlier, and just not quite as aggressive or as attractive. This is the E5. This is one that is now sold in international markets. And we have the, I forget this, I think it's also a Starray 7, which is an EMI, so a single electric motor on this one combined with an engine, so it's a hybrid. Very similar inside to the Galaxy E5 that you see in international markets. There's your Panda Mini, which we've done a couple of videos with. You can check those out online. And the thing that they're pushing at Geely Auto, which is the standard Starway brand, I think they call it, is the new, I think that's the new Manjaro, maybe called Xingray. It's called Manjaro in other markets. I think they've updated. I may just go around back at these photographs. These people having a photograph. It's yeah, it's just a normal. I think you can get a hybrid version of it, but it's a normal SUV. This is the new Preface, otherwise known as the Xingray, I think it is, in China. That's been updated slightly. Looks a little bit more, I don't know, maybe more aggressive now, especially down here at the lower grille. It's been going for a while, this car now, but one of my favorites actually. It looks really nice, the Preface. So I've just walked in someone's shop. This is the new M9, and I wanted to show you earlier the trend towards the starry lights. You'll see these again here on the front of the car. The M9's gone with the kind of the starry look at the front. This is like a lynkco 900, but a cheaper I think it's cheaper, I'm not 100% certain on that. Gets the same twin screen setup inside there, so a massive, probably 30-inch screen inside. I don't think you get the 30-inch screen in the back, but you might still get a 15-inch screen. I can't really see inside there. Does come as well with a LiDAR unit and Geely's H-Pilot system, so you can see the turquoise lights. Again, there's the trend for turquoise lights and hybrid systems. There's a really tall lady here, so I'm going to just walk around her. She's really tall. And yeah, then we've got the LEVC L380, which I believe is starting to come to Europe fairly soon. That's just the 6-seater version. Not sure if you're going to get the 8-seater, the 4-row version of the L380, but they've now badged this as a Geely instead of an LEVC, although they've still got the LEVC badge on the front with the horse, but they're now selling it as a Geely in China, so you can get it in both editions. And I believe, according to Car News China, they might be making an extended range version of this. I'm not entirely sure where they're going to fit the engine, because when you're inside, the front wheel arch here is intrusive. It's not the easiest place to store your left foot when you're driving, but yeah, they seem to have found space for an engine in there. This is the Xingray, of course. This is the best-selling car in China at the moment, selling absolutely bags of these. It's bigger than a BYD Seagull, about a similar price, and that's probably a very good recipe for success. Oh, another car, before I forget, this is the A7. So I recently drove the full-win A9L. The A7 is a bit like Geely's version of that car. This one sips fuel. You can get as little as 2.2 litres per 100 kilometres. It is a hybrid, so it'll do EV and petrol mode as well. I think it is an EMI, so I think it is EMI, so it's a single motor. Cool little tail lamps on that at the back. Quite a few speakers. Haven't driven this one yet, but maybe we will soon. And it looks pretty spacious in the back. Lots of room in there. quite cool. And then a decent looking interior as well with a large screen in the middle. Certainly looks pretty sleek. The side profile of it is very nice. And let's end haul 2 with a trip through Volkswagen. SAIC Volkswagen, so the last one must have been FAW. As I mentioned, the ID3 not selling in big numbers. They've got a Terramont Pro now, which is a massive SUV. Whether it'll sell in big numbers, I don't know. Volkswagen still must be doing pretty well, or reasonably well, with their petrol cars. They've got a Lamando L, but that's a sporty version of it, it seems. LGTS, whether you can buy that or not, I'm not sure. You can. This is the actual LGTS, not quite as racy as the one we just looked at briefly, but a good looking car overall. We've got a lot of empty space here in the middle of the stand. This is the standard Lamando L, which is slightly less racy than the GTS, I'm not sure. Lamandos do quite well in China. They're also part of the Chinese Touring Car Championship. They've got a Lamando L GTS in that as well. This is your Terramont Pro. Let's have a quick look inside, see what you get in the Volkswagen. So you do get the same old Volkswagen screen in the middle, but you do get one over here on the dashboard as well for entertainment for the passenger. You get microfiber on your seats and on the dashboard as well. So it's quite nice, good feeling interior. Memory function on the front seats. You get a leg cushion down there as well, leg rest. Does feel quite premium inside this thing. And it is a 7-seater with a 3-row bench in the second row, and then another second row here in the back. Let's see if we can get a quick look in there. Yeah, there's our third row. Doesn't look massively spacious, but might do the job in there. And a pretty reasonable sized boot behind that third row, which doesn't look like it's flexible. But yeah, that's your Terramont Pro. That's probably going to be one of their decent sellers in China. It might not cost too much either. Right, that is it for haul 2. We're on to our final haul, last one. Let's end on a high. Alrighty, we're into our final haul of this epic journey through the Chengdu Auto Show, and we do have some good stuff to show you here in this stand. What I'm going to do is briefly just circle the Audi E5 Sportback, which is now available for pre-sale here in China. We already showed you this car in Shanghai and gave you a lot of details about it. But it's quite powerful. It's about 600 horsepower, might even be more than that. It does come with the cool camera mirrors. It's got a lovely interior with the louvred doors, but I don't know if I can show you those. Let's try and zoom. Oh no, that's the wrong button. 1 second. Let's zoom in over there. You can see the kind of wooden louvres in the door on the other side of the car. Might be able to put some B-roll footage over that for you. But it's an interesting car, this one. I'm genuinely curious how this is going to go in China, because I mean, if you think about the story of it, you've got Audi, which is a prestigious German brand. They've now got Audi with 4 capital letters, which is this China only at the moment brand made by SAIC. So it uses the platform from the IM that we saw earlier in the video and builds on it with Audi design. So you get Chinese technology and Audi's design and kind of brand name. But the question is, and the pricing of course is important, but if this succeeds, what does that mean for the normal Audi brand in China? Will you end up having to get rid of the normal Audi brand and just going with Audi 4 capital letters? Let's call it 4 letters instead of 4 rings. So will you have to get rid of 4 rings and just keep 4 letters, and 4 rings just exists in the rest of the world? Or can you still keep them side by side? It feels like an experiment, and I'm not sure they really know where it's going to go yet. I certainly don't. I'm very curious. We'll have to see how the sales do on this. I think it will generate sales. It's a wagon, an estate, which is interesting because that's not really, even though it's getting more popular in China, it's not yet really the biggest, most popular niche, let's say, in China. But we'll have to see. We will really have to see. I think by the end of the year, we'll have a clearer picture of how this is going to go. I mean, will it even steal sales from the other brand? Of course, they don't have an estate that is electric for the 4 rings brand. But yeah, will it steal sales? Will people, leave an Audi A4 behind and get inside this instead? This is actually bigger than an Audi A4. It's about the same size as an Audi A6, I think. So yeah, questions to be answered there. The rest of these cars over here are Audis made by Audi Shanghai. So you'll see, I mean, just look at the interiors, for example. Let's dive in here. A lot of cleaners and things around. Let's just dive in here. That's the kind of interior you get, and it's really not modern Chinese. The connectivity is terrible. You've got a little screen embedded in the dashboard there. And yet, some people like the screen embedded in the dashboard and not a tablet stuck on the front of the dashboard. But in China, they don't. They want that big tablet dashboard, and they want to be able to talk to their car and say, can I do this? What about this? Where can I find this kind of food? And have the car talk to them. With Audis, they can't do that. They can't do that because they only do things like telling you where the radio, changing the radio station and answering the phone and stuff. Anyway, let's move off Audi, head on to Voya. They've got a couple of new cars recently. So this is the Voya Courage, which has been updated this year. As you can see, it's got this very funky kind of starlight raindrop grille on there. We get blue lights because it also gets Huawei's autonomous driving system with the LiDAR on top of the screen. And I'm not sure if the screen does this or not still. Let's give it a go. Let's try. No, so this screen used to slide across the dashboard here. Doesn't seem to be doing it now. But you get a single wireless charger on there. You get kind of nice speakers in here. Lots of soft touch materials. You get a leg rest down there at the front as well. And a fragrance scent pack down at the bottom. Let's check out the back seats. Not really selling massively well, this one, but with the Huawei system, it might start to do better. This is really kind of Huawei's tactic. They're doing a very good job of getting everybody onto their system, at least the ones that are not developing their own, a lot of them being state-owned brands. This is part of Dongfeng Voya. They are in Europe. There you go, they got the ADS badge down there. They are starting to sell cars in Europe now, and this one should go to Europe as well. It's fully electric. You might be able to get a hybrid version of it as well, I'm not sure. This is the updated Free. The Free, as you can see, has also got a new face. It's third face in its lifetime, with those kind of starlight grille down there. And as you can see again, also comes with the Huawei system. LiDAR, big LiDAR unit up there. That's what a big LiDAR unit looks like. So again, with the ADS system, also gets the Harmony OS operating system inside. You'll notice the O in the middle. Lovely sort of purple interior on this one, which looks really quite cool. The Voya Free was actually the first Chinese car I ever drove. That's a little trip back in time, 3.5 years ago. But it smells very nice in here. Got lovely soft leather seats. Again, you get a leg rest down here. You get Alcantara on the dashboard, a bit of fabric up there. Soft touch leather on top of the dashboard. Really looks like a good looking car, this now. And a large panoramic window up there with an electric sunblind built in. And again, these funky, lovely sort of conical speakers there. And one thing I just missed out there, also those mounting points that you get on the Xiaomi as well. So you can mount stuff on your dashboard like GoPros and stuff. As you can see, it's a 5-seater. The seats do fold down almost flat on this, but not quite. You can stick tablets on the back of your seats there as well. But overall, good looking car, the Free. It's always been attractive, this car. That's quite interesting. For the back, with the ADAS, they've lit up the Voya logo in blue instead. Interesting. So yeah, the Free Plus with ADS. They've also got the Zhuiguang, which I don't think I can see on the stand. That's the purple one over there. And the Dreamer, which does also come with Huawei system. Ah, they do. This is great. Let's check this out. Okay. So this is the Zhuiguang L, which I don't know if it's an updated or a larger version. I believe it's a larger version of the standard Zhuiguang. And you'll see it's got kind of a two-tone kind of chrome, massive chrome grille on the front there. Let's zoom in. Oh, that's wrong button again. Let's zoom in. Here we go, there we go, let's zoom in. Big chrome grille there, slimmer headlamps, kind of fancy chrome wheels. Again, that Huawei autonomous driving system. This should come with dual chamber air suspension. Should be very luxurious and fancy. This is a new launch, but they've got it behind a rope, so we can't get in there at the moment to get a closer look at that car. But you will find some details of that on our website. This is a 4-seater version of the Voya Dreamer. So let's get the camera straight. Sorry, hang on. There we go. So you got a massive rear screen in the back there. These lovely big seats that can kind of recline and stuff like that. They've got a big plug socket in the back, big space for all your luggage. So you've got even curtains on the inside of there. You can see the curtains as well, and kind of a two-tone interior with gold on the steering wheel. Check that out. That's fancy. That's mad, with a curtain there. So it's got a projector. It's actually got a projector in the back, a bit like on the. No, it's a real screen. It is a real screen. So the screen slides up from this unit here, and when the screen's down, you can have access to the front of the cabin as well. But that curtain's in the way. So yeah. Oh, and you got there you go. You got an umbrella in there. This guy's pointed that out to me. Thank you very much. So 2 umbrellas, one on each side.
Yeah, and the other side have another one.
That's cool. Yeah. So there you go. 2 umbrellas. They pop out on each side, so you can definitely feel quite luxurious in the Dreamer. The standard one's got quite a bit of plastic on it, but this one's a bit fancier. This is the 4-seater luxurious version, again with that Huawei system. Now, how do we get out of Voya's stand? Because I've got a lot of black fences around. Not entirely sure, but they've got like I was like crowd control fences. Let's move away from those because they're going to make a lot of noise. People queuing up to collect roses and stuff. Let's just get through this crowd. Try and give you a nicer. Oh, I've got the zoom on still. Hang on. There we go. These DJI Pocket 3s are very good for getting around stuff, but they could do with a couple of extra switches on them. So this is the Arcfox stand, so BAIC, Arcfox made by the Beijing automotive company. This is their concept car. I think it's called the 77. They showed this in Shanghai. As you can see, it's got screens in the doors, as well as a massive screen at the front. And I think this is basically designed to be an autonomous driver pod, but just a very, very luxurious one. Currently has no relevance to road cars, I would say. The big thing at the show today on Arcfox is the T1, which is this hatchback here. Again, this looks like a compact hatchback. It's not. It's bigger than a Volkswagen Golf. It's bigger than a Volkswagen Golf. Looks quite neat. You got the wheels right out in the corners. I think they're 18-inch alloys on this. Let's dive inside. Look at this interior. So we've got soft touch stuff on the dashboard there, and some kind of, that looks like leather, but it's plastic actually. You get, that's not a wireless charger, but this I think is a wireless charger, so you can stick your phone in there. These are just phone holders. That's pair of cup holders. A little bit of storage space in the middle there as well. Quite a bit of storage space at the bottom. Little screen at the front and a big screen in the middle. I think it's a 15.4-inch screen in the middle. This comes with either a 70 kilowatt or a 90 kilowatt electric motor. Should be on the rear axle, and it will get either, I think it's 330 or 420 kilometers of range, electric only range. Well, it's electric car, electric range, depending on whether you get the larger battery or not. Got some cool lights in the back of this with these kind of sort of chevron shapes on there, and look at that. Really big boot floor there. I think that's like an extra 71 litres or something like that. You can raise and lower the boot floor to make it higher or lower, give you more space. It should be, I think, 400 litres of space in the back of this, and about 1,600 with the seats down. So that's their new model. It's the smallest model in the Arcfox brand. They've got a robot lady over there sat on this one. That's the lights lit up. They look quite cool on the back of the T1. So it's a good looking car, this. Doesn't really necessarily fit the let's say the design language of Arcfox up to this point, but I think they're entering a new market that I think is quite worth it. Now we've got here the Stellarto S9T. So this is, I was going to show you this on the other side, because the other side over there has got the HIMAR stand, the Huawei Intelligent Mobility Alliance, which is now 5 brands. I'll show you that later on. This is the estate version of the Stellarto S9. So this is produced by BAIC. Again, you'll see that kind of starry light feature down there in the grille. You can get this as an EV or an extended range EV. It comes with the Huawei autonomous drive system, so a whole bunch of cameras all over the place and a LiDAR on top of the screen. This lady's inside the cabin, so I'll not interrupt her too much, but See the large screen at the back there? You've got a screen in front of the driver and the passenger, plus one in the middle, and you can get camera mirrors on this too. So just here, you'll get cameras inside, screens inside for your mirrors on the side. Twin wireless chargers, of course you get Harmony speakers, and check this out, you also get a projector in the back of the car there, which drops down so you can watch films in the back of the car on a massive screen. That's going to be like 30 to 40 inch screen there. You can do reclining rear seats as well. I'm not opening the door because I don't want to interrupt this lady's video, but yeah, one thing I will say is I'll open the boot. Again, starry lights across there and your blue ADAS lights. Massive boots, that is huge. This car is bigger than the Audi A6 Avant and the 5 Series Touring and the E6, well, the E-Class basically, the estate version. It's bigger than all of those. So this is the biggest estate car in the world, and it's fully electric, as I said, or extended range at the same time. I'll come back onto Himar cars in a moment. We've also got, of course, the BJ30 here, because Bike also make a lot of off-roaders, which they've been testing, or not testing, but demonstrating on the interior. We've got more of their SUV, that's another BJ30, BJ80. These, I think actually, these get exported to some markets, but I don't know which ones. So I'm not going to get into too many details about the BJ40, 80 and 70 or whatever they are. Right, let's head over to Himar. Let's end on a high, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is the 5th Himar brand. It's called Shuangjie. This is combined, it's a collaboration between Huawei and SAIC. You'll see, again, the turquoise lights, the LiDAR unit up there. And not sure I can get you a good view of the interior, but it's kind of a mid-sized family SUV. Again, available as a full EV or as an extended range hybrid. You get just your standard usual stuff inside. You should get the Harmony operating system, I would say. You get quite cool little lights here across the back of the car. Kind of the two-line tail bar also seems to be quite a trend at the moment. But yeah, that's the 5th. It's called the H5. I forget what the range is. Again, we've got those articles on our website if you want to check them out. This brand is designed to be more affordable than the other Himar brands and more accessible to a younger audience, like kind of young families who just want some space, and as well as having all the cool technology that you can get in the Huawei cars. This is the updated Luxeed S7. Again, you can see it's got those turquoise lights in there. This is one of the best looking cars in China. An absolute stunner, this one. Sadly, we haven't had the chance to drive this one, but you see you get, again, twin wireless chargers, Harmony operating system, no head-up display in the S7, but you do get kind of a glove box on top of the dashboard there. You get a kind of a Huawei sound system, so probably like 20 odd speakers in there. Lovely red interior, leg rests for the driver. Just a very sexy looking car, this one. Let's get around the front. Brembo brake calipers on this, so should be decent stopping power. I just think that's an absolute looker. And it's been updated with these turquoise lamps across the front here to show that it's an autonomous drive. They've also updated the Luxeed logo as well, which is now slightly different. But all of the Himar logos fit in that kind of hexagonal shape. I'm not entirely sure what they've really upgraded on it, but they've also upgraded the R7, which is the Model Y competitor from Luxeed, which is this one here. There's a nicer colour one that you'll be able to see a little bit better than this, but again, the turquoise lights in there for the autonomous drive system. A lot of the things you're just going to hear are going to be the same. On the whole, I think this is majority very similar to the standard R7. They've got a slight difference under the lights there with this kind of textured section beneath the white daytime running light, and of course the turquoise light as well. One thing I will say is their sales have been utterly appalling in China, so they really need to turn things around, because Aito are going gangbusters. They're selling tons of cars, but Luxeed, who currently only do fully electric cars, they're made by Chery, their sales have absolutely fallen off a cliff. And by falling off a cliff, I mean fallen off a cliff twice. They're just going downhill. So they need to do something about that. This is an i2 M9, super luxurious car, this one. They've got projector screen in the back. You'll see projector up there in the roof. You get a 6-seat layout. You get lovely wooden. I was looking at one of these the other day. You get wood in the doors, you get the Huawei sound system, you get, I think you can get zero gravity seats in the second row, I'm not sure. The front one you can definitely do zero gravity. You can put tablets on the back if you want to. You get a tray table on the back of the front seat. You get chargers in your side of your seats, heating, ventilating, massage. There you go, you can get zero gravity on these two rear seats. You get a little phone down there to control your climate control. You get loads of space in the front. Let me just dive in here, show you that, thank you. So you got a triple screen setup across there, plus a massive head-up display, plus a digital rear view mirror, plus twin panoramic windows. You also can pop down this, you got storage space on this side, you get a sliding door on the other side for different storage space, wood on the center console. I believe you can get a fridge in the back as well, twin wireless chargers, and you get a footrest on here, and you can lift your leg rest up there as well. It's just a super, super premium car, which again is available as a full electric car or an extended range hybrid. This is the EV version. I just saw the badge on the back of it. You'll see they have very similar light treatment at the front to the Stellatos, and again they have the turquoise light across there and the LiDAR units. All these cars are running Huawei's ADS autonomous drive system. This is the M8. This was launched in the Shanghai Auto Show. This is doing absolutely fantastically. At the moment, one of the best-selling SUVs in China. Again, available as a battery. It's basically a small version of the M9 with a bit less stuff in it. So it's selling loads of units. You can get it as an EV or as an extended range EV. And they've now finally replaced the aging Aito M7 with the new M7. The original M7, one of the top 20 best-selling electrified vehicles in the world last year. The new version has a screen on either side, so 3 screens across the front, Huawei sound system, bunch of space in the back. It is a 5-seater, this one, with adjustable backrests. You can get a screen that folds down from the roof in there, but not the projector screen that you can get in the M8. Slightly different interpretation of the front grille on the M7 compared to the M8, which has these kind of angry eye headlamps. Let's just slide past all these people doing live streaming because there's a lot of background chatter. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. I'll find out in the edit later on. They've also gone for different lights here too, so you'll see the blue lights, they've gone for 2 of them rather than a bar across the front. And it's just much better than the original M7, which was already built on a dated platform, didn't drive very well, sold in massive numbers because it was what people wanted, but it wasn't really a very good car overall, even though it did get updated over time to become a bit better. But as I said, this is the Shuangjie H5. You might think it looks very similar to the, Shangjie H5. You might think it looks very similar to the M7, and yeah, that's kind of, that's the way things are going really. Fairly anonymous styling on the H5, but I'm sure it's a good car. This is the S9T, again in a kind of a lovely maroon colour. I think you get air suspension on these because you can lower it really low to the ground like it is there. I think they're 21-inch alloys on there. We've got some Michelin Primacy tyres. So this is going to be I'd love to drive this one. Whether we'll ever get hold of any Huawei cars is still a challenge because they're not easy to get hold of. They're really not. But again, you can see the kind of the starry light theme across the back of the car there. Looks really, really good. And yeah, then you just got the, I did say there was going to be a nicer colour that we can see. This is a lovely green on the updated R7. But I can't really get to the inside of it because it's behind all these barriers. I did see one yesterday in the Huawei shop. I went to have a look at it. And yeah, just a good colour. Whether it will improve the sales or not, that is the big question. So yeah, let's turn the camera around again. So that's it for our walk around of the 2025 Chengdu Auto Show. Not quite as many new cars this year, I think, as we had last year. Certainly BYD had a lot less cars than I expected. I'll actually go and end over here by the maextro stand. I don't think we can get into the maextro stand, but I'll stand here with them in the background. This is, you know, China's Rolls Royce over here. But yeah, it's been an interesting show, this one. I think not too overpopulated, which has been good, to be honest with you. So we've had enough access to most of the cars. I think the trends, I would say the trends in the Chinese car industry, and actually the car industry as a whole, are that a bit like the mobile phone industry. You know, when the mobile phone industry had massive changes with every iteration of a new Samsung or a new Apple or something like that. And that's what we had in the Chinese car industry, with constant massive growth. Right now that seems to have stabilized quite significantly. So now the push seems to be on really maximizing those ADAS systems with Huawei, XPeng, NIO, liauto, basically having the best manufacturer systems. Huawei's, of course, is across many manufacturers. I think Volkswagen might also get the XPeng system at some point in the future, which could be the case. We've even got Huawei going to Audi now as well. So our Audis, the normal ones, some of them have got the Huawei system in them. So yeah, there's really a push now towards luxury. There's some interesting steps in terms of the pricing. So NIO, for example, with the ES8 and the onvo L90 have gone really, really low. They've cut the prices way down. They just refused to do that before. They've said they're fighting for their lives, so now they've got to make sales. Maybe actually making the price cuts is what will finally get cars out the door for onvo and for NIO. Then on the other hand, you've got Zeekr, who are pushing up market because they've been saying their cars are luxury for ages and then popping them out at really cheap price tags. So the 9X kind of defies that by becoming more expensive. And we'll see how long that price tag lasts, whether they feel they need to sell it for less or not. But if they want to market it against a Range Rover or even a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, as they have been doing in some of their promotional material, you know, a higher price tag might actually convince a lot of people who are like, well, it's not a luxury car if you charge way too little for it. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on. How many of these brands will be here next year? We haven't lost that many. We lost Qiyuan, obviously. They were here last year, I believe, but they weren't here this year. Neta haven't been at an auto show for a while. Jetta did turn up to this auto show, but weren't there in Shanghai. And we've got the new Rely brand, obviously. And apparently there's a new company joining the market in a couple of years from a vacuum cleaner company called Dream. They plan to make the fastest car in the world. That's what they told their employees yesterday. So we will see how that goes. They're targeting Bugatti. Not exactly the easiest market to jump right into. I mean, these guys will tell you that. This maextro actually is doing better than the Luxeeds that we saw earlier. The maextro is selling in big numbers. A lot of people in like Dubai and the Middle East are buying it as well. And don't forget, if you like any of these cars, we can help you get them in your country. Details will be in the description below this video. So if you're enticed by any of these, do let us know. We can help you out with that. But yeah, so it's been quite a good show, I would say. Some surprises in some cars that didn't come. I think a lot of brands are saving some cars for the European Auto Show next week or next couple of weeks in Munich. That's going to be a big thing, I think, because obviously the big push now is getting those cars out of China into European markets. But yeah, I would say the overall development curve is slowing down, consolidating slightly. Some of the brands might disappear in the next few years. I think we might not lose as many as some people say, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been a good auto show, this one. A lot of content, a lot of stuff on side. Hope you've enjoyed the journey with us. Thank you very much if you've stuck it out this far. If you just enjoyed the video partway through and enjoyed bits and pieces, again, thank you very much. Really appreciate you watching these videos. Love hearing your comments in the description below and interacting with you as the audience. So again, once again, thank you very much for watching. If you do, thank you for subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up so more people can see the amazing auto shows that we have here in China. And as ever, we'll catch you next time.